What's going on, Burning Desire? Hope you're good. What's good? Brook Khan, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ask me questions. Let's go. Let's talk about it. What do you want to know? Yeah, I read your comment about the rematch clause. Yeah, there's a rematch clause. Evening, what's going on, boxing historian? I hope you're good. That's Davey, my man. I'm pretty sure that's Davey. What's going on, Davey? Hope you're good. Yeah. There's a rematch clause in the Khan Brook. I like that. I like that. That means if it's a good fight, I reckon they'll do it again. I reckon they'll make more money. Why not? Why not? I actually think Brook won't mind there being a rematch. I think if he wins, he'd want to do a rematch. Why wouldn't he? What's going on with the rehydration weight? I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue about that. About the rehydration weight. I don't know. I don't know what's it gonna be. Is it 10 pounds that he can be over? Is he 157? Or I don't know. I don't know what the, they're quite cagey about it. They're not really talking about it, are they? They're not really speaking about what's in the contract. Kel's not really talking about it. Neither is Amir Khan. So I don't know. I don't know. I read it's 163.5, but Khan said he's not sure what it is. Like, he should know what it is. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure he's the one that would have. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm excited for the fight based on the fact, even if they're both past it, but they're still in the same era. Yeah, they're from the same era. So it makes it exciting. It's not like one guy's fresh and one guy. Brook is always worried about being sued and Khan doesn't tell much. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Burning Desire. So we're not really getting a lot, are we? We're not really getting a lot. We're not really getting a lot. You know what? There's a lot of big fights, man. There's a lot of big fights that potentially could happen. I'm hearing some real rumors about Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. I'm hearing that might be happening. Which, wow. I'm hearing rumors about Canelo, Jamal, Charlo. I'm hearing rumors about Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. You know what? I'm actually not looking forward to the Khan Brook fight. I'm very nervous. I don't know why. I'm very nervous. I feel like this fight we wanted it for so long. And if you're a Khan fan or a Brook fan, you just don't want to see your man lose, kind of thing. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, man, there's a lot of things going on in boxing. I'm a bit confused to what's going on. What's going off with Canelo? I think I'm the only one that thinks AJ has a good chance in a Usyk rematch. Yeah, you are, Davey. I don't think he's got any shot. Not any shot. He's a big heavyweight. If he lands one, he could knock him out. But yeah, I don't see it. I think Usyk will knock Joshua out in the rematch. I think he'll stop him. I do. I think Usyk I think Usyk now has gained confidence. He knows. Because I know what it means. Like, I got into the sport because of Amir Khan. I've told you this numerous times. I don't want to see him lose to one of his rivals, because I know that it will be I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm nervous a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, let's. Why is I'm basing on what they done wrong in the first fight. Whether AJ can recover mentally is a different story. I don't know, Davey. I don't know whether he can. That's the issue. I don't know whether he can. I don't know whether he can. I'm not sure AJ can. If Khan loses, there's a less pressure as there's rematch. Yeah. I think if Khan loses, I think they'll probably do another big fight in the stadium. Depending on how it goes. If it's like a blowout or something, then it might not, then it might not sell, would it? Because I don't think AJ wants the Usyk. I think AJ will fight White. Wow. You know what? I was hearing something about that. I was hearing something that Usyk might fight Fury, and Joshua might fight. Joshua might fight White. You know what? Burning Desire, you might just hit the nail on the head. You might just hit the nail on the head. I wouldn't be shocked if we're shocked and by that scenario. Usyk fighting Fury and Joshua fighting White, but why? But here's the thing, Burning Desire. Why would you want to fight White? That's dangerous for AJ. White could chin AJ. The way AJ Fury will still be undisputed. Yeah, yeah, but the problem is White might chin AJ. You know that's a dangerous fight. Dangerous fight. You confident that AJ would beat White? I'm not. No chance. No chance. That's a dangerous fight. Guys, get your questions in. Get more questions in. AJ thinks Usyk is harder, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I don't know. Loex says those are the fights that make sense. Usyk beaten badly and should be do a undisputed fight with Fury, and AJ should fight White. Yeah, that'd be. Listen. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I would love to see that. I would love to see that without question. Without question, guys. Have you got the link? Let me smash the link in the 1 second, guys. Let me put the link in the let me get the link in there. Where's Zakamo gone? Zakamo, where you gone? Guys, can you hear me? Do you think Khan sounds like me, has a cold? His tone of voice. I didn't really see his interview, to be honest. What's going on, brother? You good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. What's going on?
What's going on, buddy? First time on camera with you. How
Yeah,
you been?
yeah, man.
Getting better?
Seeing your messages, man, for a long time. I replied back to you quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I couldn't really get on camera. Just the thing's been hectic around here. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
lot of yes, but yeah, man. I'm well. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well, man. You're growing, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Canelo, who's he fighting, my man? Who's he fighting, man? I'm confused. I'm
Not
confused.
Charlo.
Not Charlo. Why? Why not?
Definitely not your mom, man. Because I think I just see character on Canelo. His character, man, it's about legacy points. It's about making history. It's about adding substance to his name. And Charlo is not. Charlo is way off from that. Yeah, I see Charlo, Charlo, Andre, maybe anything else. Uh, After Makabu, after any Kings at 175. But I don't know, man. Just based on Canelo's character, I don't see him going a fight, lower opposition. Even though it's a money fight, yeah, Charlo's a good money fight, but it's not gonna be too much different. I don't think if he goes up and fights at cruiserweight and 175. I don't know. That's just my opinion, and it's just that I just go by character, and Canelo's character is pungent. He's very pungent. I mean, you can pretty much know what he's gonna do next based on his character, based on his
So,
trajectory. So,
what do you think's next?
huh?
What do you think's next?
I think just based on the relations with Eddie, Hearn, I think it could be Bivol. I think it could be Bivol, or well, that's if Makabu doesn't happen, because I'm almost certain that that's where he wants to go. If for some reason Makabu doesn't happen, if he loses a fight, uh, 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 next up, I think he may go to Bivol or Joe Smith. I mean, you got Bob Arum, that can give him uh, better beef and Joe Smith, but I don't know, man. I think the money's at with Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, so I think he would go with Bivol. if Makabu doesn't happen. What do you think? I don't. I really don't
Uh,
think it's an option.
honestly, I think he's gonna fight. I think he's gonna fight Charlo. I think he wants that fight. I tell you why. I saw it. I saw a podcast with Canelo Alvarez, and he was asked, "Who do you want to fight, Charlo or Golovkin?" And he said, "I want to fight Charlo." Um,
Right.
I think that fight would be a huge payday. I think it'd be Canelo's highest payday by a
Yeah, it's a
mile.
money
I
fight.
think, but not by a
Well,
mile, but I think it'll be his highest payday. I think he'll probably get something about $60 million, maybe more.
but if you weigh the options though for the money, I really don't. What, a million or two probably? Versus fighting Makabu or anyone 175. Do you think that makes a difference versus the points right now? It's at the time right now is a perfect time for Canelo to be able to get that belt over a cruiserweight. It might not. It may play a little bit different later on. It'll be
Mm.
maybe harder for him to try to get the belt from a more risky fight, a cruiserweight. Today is the time. Right now is the time for him to do it and create that legacy. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's a timing. It's a
I
timing too.
I
So
agree and disagree. I'll tell you why. If he goes to cruiserweight, right, that means he's not going to come back down to 168, right?
mhm.
Again, that's his 168 days over. All right.
Maybe,
So
yeah, maybe.
then he'll never fight Charlo ever.
Well, and no, and that's the argument. But what makes you think that he has to go up all the way to 195? He can just fight a cruiserweight at 180, just 176. Isn't 176 puts him up at cruiserweight? Isn't that
No,
the
no. So no,
consensus?
no. So if he goes to cruiserweight, just say fights Makabu, right?
Right.
Yeah, then he's gonna come back down to 175. He's not gonna go
That's what
back
I'm
down to
saying. He
168.
doesn't have to go up to 25 pounds to fight a cruiserweight. He just needs to be up 175, just a few pounds to fight a cruiserweight. Isn't that what the
No, no, but
consensus
at
is from people?
cruiserweight is gonna be Campos. Can you help me out on this? Cruiserweight's 190, right? Or
With the
200?
WBC,
Yeah,
cruiserweight is 190. With all the other organizations, it's still 200.
right. So Canelo's gonna be about 190. Yeah, for
Oh wow, I was
Makabu.
way up on this one then. Shit. Hmm. Okay.
Campos,
Slap me.
what's your take? What's your take?
I have no I have no idea who he's gonna fight now.
Hmm.
What's going on,
If
Campo?
what's
What's up,
going on,
buddy?
man? Not much.
So
I don't know who he's gonna fight, but I'm wondering, with everything that Floyd is saying about Canelo, is Canelo gonna not make fights with the PBC? Is that gonna affect it? That's my question.
But he just made a fight with the PBC.
Yeah, but after, look at the stuff Floyd has been
yeah,
saying lately.
Right.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't think anybody takes Mayweather serious, man. That guy's all over the place, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
but doesn't he own part of the PBC?
I, I don't know if he's got investments in there versus owning.
No,
I don't have no idea.
he don't own
But
it. He don't own it. No.
yeah, he probably invested on there. But I mean, who knows? But yeah, I don't think he has any say or anything. I don't. I don't think anybody takes Mayweather serious. To be honest with you, honestly. I mean, whatever Mayweather. I mean, I cringe every time Mayweather is on the microphone. Someone's interview with a guy. I can't even listen to the guy. I just stop the review and I just go onto something else.
um, you know what? You know what? I'm really. You know what? Zacamo. I
Yeah,
remember. I remember you saying that there was that journalist, that Salvador Rodriguez.
Java. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He said that the boxing purists will not be happy with Canelo's next fight. What does he
No, he
mean by
said
that? Is Canelo going to fight Jake Paul, or is he going to fight Kamaru Usman, or what's
no. He said he no. And on the other hand, the purists will be happy. So we're talking. What was his name? What was the reporter that he commented?
Salvador Rodriguez.
No, Chava, but he commented over someone's tweet, which was not Coppinger, the other guy.
Michael Benson.
Benson. Yeah, no. He said that the purist may not like it, but Chava said, on the other hand, purists may what is it? Love it?
Like it.
No, Benson said may not like it, but on the other hand, Chava said on the other hand, purists.
I think he said that some purists, I mean, the boxing purists may not like it, but on the other hand, some purists may like it, something like that.
Right. Benson said like and may not like it, and then Chava came back and said, on the other hand, purists may be happy with it. Actually, he's happy. That's where that's where the puzzle's lies. So. Yeah,
but who? Like, who could it be? I don't understand. Like, I don't see why
what's the difference between like and love? I mean, and happy. So purists would be happy with what kind of fight? Those is emotions, right? Yeah. Like and happy would be a higher emotion, maybe. I don't know. Or half the purists may like it, and half of the purists may be happy with it. Which is probably a higher emotion happy. I don't know. I think I don't know, man. I think Bivol. It's either Joe or Bivol.
TV, is it a cherry pick? You said Jamal Charlo would be a cherry pick, right?
Yeah, because it'll be Jamal's first fight at 168. That's why.
But what would you rather see then, and who do you think Canelo's going to fight? I know you said you're not sure. What would you rather see, and what do you think he's going to do? If you had to predict.
Someone at 168 or above.
Someone at 168 or above. So who, like Benavidez, would that be suitable?
Could it be? Damn.
I mean, Benavidez. Who else is there at 168 for him to fight? I think that fight would be better at 175, but Benavidez is hiding from 175.
Well,
so
Benavidez, we know he's a bit of a weight bully right now, right?
Yeah, he's hiding from 175. He's missed weight twice at 175, and he's fought above 168 8 times in his career. So he's hiding. I would rather see Canelo Benavidez at 175, but if it happens at 168, then it happens at 168.
I think for me, for legacy, if that's what I think Canelo is gonna do based on character, I think Canelo's gonna do Makabu, then he's gonna go down to 175 and try to clean up there, and then take on whatever is next, maybe defend. I don't know if Canelo wants to settle at 175 and defend there, or would it be easier to just go down to 168 and just stay there, and defend all his belts, which I think it'll be and drop all the 165 belts and just defend he's undisputed at 168, because then whoever wants to to fight Canelo can come down from 175 to 168, and whoever's at 160 go up to fight Canelo. I think that's the perfect middle, a place where Canelo can be and can satisfy the mainstream. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think that's the best thing he could do.
I want to ask Little Penny. Little Penny, what's going on, Little Penny?
What's up, Little Penny? Come on, brother.
Hi, guys.
All good, man. All good. Good hearing you. Yeah, Little Penny has a great voice. Like, it's great to listen to little Penny's little Penny.
Commentator voice.
Little Penny. Canelo Alvarez, and who do you want to see him fight, man? Who do you want to see him fight? There's a lot of speculation to who he's going to fight. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be next?
Yeah, I agree that that Canelo will probably fight Makabu next. But
Right.
what I want to see, I agree with CV. I want to see that a Benavidez fight, probably at 175, so both guys are comfortable. Because I don't think Benavidez can make 168 anymore. I wouldn't mind a Bateviev fight either. But then again, I'm gonna disagree with CV here a little bit. I don't mind that Charlo fight. I think that's a pretty good fight to me because it's a name, everyone knows him. Like I don't mind that fight. I think that will do well on pay-per-view, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a little hard time right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody minds that fight. I mean, Canelo can fight anybody, and I mean, even a Charlo fight would be just fine. I think everybody'd be fine with it, but I think for legacy, I think it's better to go up instead of down. Because he's literally going down. Fighting Charlo on his legacy points. I mean, if Charlo doesn't do anything after a Canelo fight, I mean, what points did Canelo gain fighting Charlo? If he doesn't fight, for 4 years, he does nothing after he fights Charlo, and he just kind of disappears. Does that make sense? It's not a legacy fight. I mean, versus as opposed to going up to 195, 190 cruiserweight and fighting a champion there, gaining a belt, and then going back down to 175. Doesn't matter what Makabu does after he fights Canelo, right? I mean, it's still going to be in the history books regardless, but not a Jamal. Jamal's really a nobody now, and could be a nobody after he fights Canelo. That's just my logic, to it. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think Canelo can fight whoever he wants right now. It don't matter who he's still doing more than all these people who don't want to fight each other, acting like divas.
Yeah, and I think everybody would be happy either way, even if he fights Jamal. I mean, but still, I for me, I like the challenging fights for Canelo, and I don't think Jamal is that one.
Yes, he is.
Okay, well,
So fight spirit. Why is Jamal a good fight? Is he a tough fight?
Yeah, the dude's big. He's strong. He can knock people out. Very good fight.
At 160, he can't knock people out at 160. What is he gonna do at 168 against an elite, a legendary fighter, probably a potential goat of boxing? I mean, come on, man.
Guys, do you believe that Canelo has sent Charlo a contract? Charlo has signed it, so he gave it back to Canelo. Now it's on Canelo's side. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Charlo put something up on his story, right?
Canelo.
Isn't that what Canelo does? Our plan A, B, and C. I think there's a couple more that probably has a possible contract, and Makabu doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the only difference is that Charlo is making it public, for clout, the clout.
Which is a big mistake to me.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because a lot of these A-siders, they don't like, maybe with the exception to maybe Pacquiao, who wouldn't mind, but these A-siders like Amir Khan and Mayweather and these guys, they don't like it. They don't like the B-side to make it public. They want, it's them that should make it public. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially when you know what it's all about.
I think Canelo wants to fight Charlo. I think there's a want from Canelo. I think Canelo likes that fight stylistically, and he wants to fight Charlo. Do you see where I'm coming from? I think he wants to fight Charlo.
He's a name, man. He's a name.
But it's a mainstream. It's a mainstream name because it's really, I don't know, man. I just don't see Charlo the way you guys see it.
Okay. Let me put another name out there. Demetrius Andrade.
Oh no.
What?
No.
I think he's under Charlo. Yeah.
No. I don't think Canelo would even entertain sending him any contract at all. If it is, it'll be like a hoax or something.
Yep, agreed. He's
What do
a
you
horrible
think, Fight
fighter. Come
Spirit?
on. Huh?
Andre,
Andre.
I think Andre should fight Triple G. I think, or Bivol or Charlo or somebody. Why do they all want to fight Canelo? Oh yeah, because he's the #1 marketable athlete and it's a paycheck.
Can I jump in? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
go
really
on.
like one of those things when fight a man of your own size, and the guys on of your own size, they're all at 160. What are you trying to do? You're a freshman and trying to fight a senior. I mean, I don't know, man. It's levels above these guys. I mean, they should be fighting each other. What the hell are they doing?
Plant will
Picking against Goliath. I don't know, man. It's just amazing to me what they're trying to do right now. I mean, for Jamal, I think he just wants that money. I mean, he knows in his heart, in his mind, that he can't beat Canelo. But if he does take the fight, it's just going to be that money fight, and that's it. Honestly.
Yeah. Little Penny, in terms of like money wise, what's the biggest fight for him?
Biggest fight, interesting. I reckon maybe Benavidez. I don't know, like.
Is that a big fight? Is that a big pay-per-view fight?
Benavidez? Yeah, hell yeah. It'll
Bigger
be like
than
a
Charlo?
it'll be
Benavidez. Yeah.
because it'll be like Mexican versus. It'll be like De La Hoya versus like Fernando Vargas. To say they can play that angle. You know what I mean? Where the because when you put two Mexicans together, my God, it's the pay-per-view will go bonkers.
I agree, but people are already counting out David Benavidez.
Sorry, say that again.
People are already counting out David Benavidez for some reason. I don't know why. When he's a tough fighter and he has a knockout, doesn't he have a knockout streak?
Yeah. He is a tough fighter. He's everything, but again, his resume against who? He's a tough fighter. I mean, he is, and he's got a potential to be a great fighter. But
yeah, but Zack,
so far,
he's
that's
fought
what
nobody, man.
It looks good. Yeah,
no one.
I mean,
like Charlo's fought better competition than him, way better.
Carlo Benavidez.
Hey,
but I think even with resume, the eye test, I think is still Benavidez is a more challenging fight, even with the resume that he has.
Yeah.
It's definitely a more challenging fight than Charlo. So yeah, I'd rather see Benavidez, but it's the size difference and the speed, and I think he's underrated too. I think Benavidez' defense is underrated. He haven't had to use that the defense, the other skills that he has because of his the level of competition he's been fighting. So we really haven't seen the full potential of Benavidez. We've seen great stuff, in his past fights, and based on that, I think compared to Charlo and Charlo's durability, I don't know. I think Benavidez will go through Jamal and will give Canelo, a decent fight. I think, but I think it'll be an easier fight than. I don't know if an easier fight than Caleb Plant.
No, it won't. Canelo only falls like that Plant because
it's hard.
Plant don't have power like that. That's why you've seen him walk around like that. But it'll be
different. It's just the styles. I mean, I can't. Huh?
It'll be different when you see Canelo versus somebody with power. It's not going to be the same thing as with Plant. Walking him down and having confidence and composure because Plant can't crack like that. But when he'll be more cautious, I think you'll see that.
Fight spirit.
Yeah.
Beterbiev.
Beterbiev should fight Bivol. But why do they all want to fight Canelo?
I like
Fight spirit. Does Beterbiev beat Canelo?
Personally, I think Canelo stops Beterbiev.
Yep, that's right. I think so too. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
saw
yeah.
fights. I didn't see he doesn't. Canelo stop him. I think.
That's kind of, to me, that's Canelo's most dangerous fight because Beterbiev is big and strong, man. Like, if Canelo goes toe to
Lil
toe
Penny,
with
didn't you
Benavidez,
say you pick? Did you say you picked Beterbiev in that fight?
no, I'll pick Canelo by a slight edge, but it will be his most dangerous fight. I don't know if it will be his most successful fight from a revenue standpoint. But because Canelo is such a good boxer, maybe he'll just box him in that fight and just play it safe because, you know, he doesn't need to knock him out. Like, 'cause he's so
But he
good.
will. It's just
You
that
think
I
so?
think man, but
At that
yeah, but I think
size?
yeah. The layers, man. I mean, God, man, the games that the layers of Canelo's game, the intelligence, the way he sets up his punches, he sets them up in many different ways, just from the bottom to the top, from the way he hints or uses his leg movement, makes you think one thing and it's the other. I mean, the guy's freaking amazing. The speed allowed him to do all this type of different moves that confuses the opposition. Um, yeah,
Bro,
man.
bro,
I think Beterbiev gets
bro,
knocked out, man.
bro, at that size, at 175,
I know.
say there's no rehydration clause, Beterbiev will probably be at 200 pounds, whereas Canelo will only be at maybe the most 170. And the
Yeah, it's a
punch
dangerous
resistance of
one,
those
man.
guys
It's a
are
dangerous
friggin'
one.
it's like asking Manny Pacquiao to knock out Margarito, which he couldn't, right?
Yeah, but who has Beterbiev fought besides
Mm.
Usyk?
Gavoldik?
Govzik.
Yeah.
Who?
Little Penny.
Govzik.
I think
He unified.
Beterbiev. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
Canelo is not amazing. Amazing is Floyd. Amazing is Boots Ennis. Give me a break. Christian's in the house.
Oh
Christian's in the
man,
house.
Christian, where?
Christian's
Christian,
in the
come on,
house,
man.
my man.
I've been wanting to talk to you.
Hey, we
Christian,
should start
Zack
talking about
wants to have a chat.
Andrade.
If you're
Start talking
free,
about Andrade, I'll come in.
jump on. I'll send you the link.
Start talking about Andrade. I bet you'll come in. Canelo Andrade.
Oh, Jesus.
But you know what?
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think Andrade is gonna get the crack. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because you know why? It's a low risk. Sorry, it's a high
He's a
risk.
horrible fighter.
But you know, he can
I
give
think-
Canelo problems though, because he's such an awkward fighter. But from an entertainment point of view, I don't know if that will be like, because you know,
Yeah.
Andrade can stink out the joint like Rigo. You know what I mean?
Well, Lil Penny, I think, dude, I think Jamal and Andrade are fine fights for after Canelo cleaning up 175. He's able to get the undisputed at 175 after
Who has
Makabu. I
Andre
think that
fought?
should be
Who has
the
Andre
money
fought?
fights that should go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who has Andre
Nobody.
fought again?
Nobody.
Exactly, but what did Christian's talking about this and that? This dude needs to stop
So
dick riding.
Christian says.
That's what Christian
Christian says Andrade won't get the fight because Canelo knows too difficult.
Oh my God, Christian, please explain why. Break it down, please. How? Please.
Christian.
Hey guys,
Christian.
he makes good points though to make you think, that could.
No, and for whatever he does at work, I mean, he does he breaks it down very well. But for whatever he does, but it has nothing to do with boxing. I mean, you have to be able to see the angles, and he's missing one angle or two every time he tries to break something up. You have to see everything.
Yeah, true.
You can't just he sees one angle and he sticks to it, and he doesn't listen.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
you have to be able to learn, man. I mean, and he's just.
I like Christian. No, here's the thing, Zack. You know, Christian, he breaks it down very well scientifically. Yeah. Like this is what this guy does. This is what this guy does. This guy has this weakness. But in a fight, that's not necessarily how things are gonna play out. You see what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
Not necessarily like.
Christian just has an obsession with black people. He loves black people. He loves black. And that's what was.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Little weirdos on there. I bet he donated to Black Lives Matter too.
Let's just say he's definitely biased.
No, well, I think Christian said he's gonna come on in 5.
Yeah, I like Christian, but I don't agree with him saying that Canelo doesn't have any footwork. Canelo's got great.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Come on.
I think Christian has his. I think Christian has his points. He likes a certain style, and Canelo's not his style.
I like certain styles, man. I hate Mayweather. I hate Juan Manuel Marquez. But dude, I mean, that dude was a warrior. I mean, from 12 times that he got dropped, he got up 12 times. The guy never got knocked out. He got knocked out 24 times, and the 24 times he came back up. I fucking hate the guy personally, but the man, as a boxer, a warrior, my fucking God. I mean, you just gotta be realistic about things, you know?
Christian's the one who said that Plant was gonna win. Remember, Imran?
Yeah. To be fair, he said, remember? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He listened to these Dante's this fat boy Dante Fat Boy Nation.
LDBC.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Who's a dummy?
I get that. I get there are people
just
out
yapping
there
his lips. He dude doesn't know nothing. Look. But go ahead, Imran.
No, I just think here's the thing. I think in a fight sometimes, you know, it's great at breaking things down analytically and stuff. I get that, but I don't think sometimes some of the stuff that Christian says, I don't think in a fight I don't think that's necessarily going to play out that way. Do you see where I'm coming, Little Penny?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like in a fight when guys are trading punches, like there's just a lot more that can happen in a fight than a guy with better feet or a guy, you know, like I don't even know whether Andrade can take a right hand from Canelo. I don't know. Like, I don't know that. These are things that until Andrade, like I saw Canelo go in with Golovkin, and I didn't know prior to that fight whether Canelo could take Golovkin's power.
But people
I thought Golovkin might iron him out because many people thought Canelo would get knocked out by Golovkin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anybody gave him a chance on in the first and second fight. Both fights, I think Canelo was the underdog, wasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. But Canelo took those punches. So this is what I mean. But like, I just think in a fight, a lot can happen in 36 minutes in a ring. I don't think everything's gonna play out scientifically. You know what I mean? I think when you're in a fight, anything can happen.
The sample size that Christian is analyzing for Andrade, he's right. But the thing is, those sample size, they're weak. They're against weak opponents. Anyone can look good on
right. He's not right. Hold on. Let me. Hold on.
Go ahead.
If Christian is the type of dude who's just a hater, if Plant was to go to 12 rounds, this dummy would have been saying Plant won, like the rest of the little haters. I promise you.
You know, it's
this defensive slick style. Wow, they're haters. Christian shouldn't be serious.
And it's also when Imran, you mentioned science. I mean, physics do count, though. You know, the lower the weight class you're fighting in, the taller you are, the weaker you're gonna be. I mean, this dude's Jamal and Andre, they're at a weight class where they're just too tall for their own weight, so they're gonna be weaker on the body. Their torso's gonna be longer. So he applied to 175. The higher you go, now that's when you start leveling things up with a shorter opposition like Canelo. That's why it's so scary for Canelo to go up to 195, because the length at some point where the speed due to the physics, his body, the lower center of gravity is in, and how quick he can respond and react. I mean, it's super at 170, 168 versus 6'3" opposition. You know, once you start going up, I mean, that's gonna level up. He's short, his length. You know, at some point, you know, it's just not gonna be good for him. That's where the physics come to play, where it's important. That's where they have to be very, very methodical when they choose their position. Especially
you should have heard Christian before the Plant fight. This dude was so sure He's a
No, I know.
dog. These dudes don't know what they're talking about. They just be yapping.
No, but
They're
to be fair though,
They're
to be fair,
haters.
Fight Spirit, he did come back on. He did. Little Penny was there. He did.
And
come
did he
back
give
on and
Canelo
he did
credit?
say
No.
that, you know what?
He
He
didn't
did
give
say,
Canelo
to
credit.
be fair, Canelo, the only way to beat Canelo is you have to have power. And I was saying that all along, that a slick guy with no power can't beat Canelo. You have to have power.
Hey guys, speaking of power, I just want to go back to Juan Manuel Marquez for a second because I did follow his career. Juan Manuel Marquez is the only guy I know that when he gets knocked down, he gets stronger. I've never seen a fighter where the more times he gets knocked down, the stronger he gets. I don't get that. How is that?
Aztec warrior, man. Aztec DNA.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I couldn't, like, even those Pacquiao, even against Katsidis. Remember when he fought Katsidis, the Australian dude? Katsidis knocked him down. And then the next round, it's like this guy kind of like got a next win. So maybe it wakes him up a little bit.
You know, Maidana was like that, Little Penny.
I get chills I get chills just thinking about that, man. It's ridiculous, man. Marcus had and the guy is sane. I mean, he's complete in here. He's 100%. The guy's a smart dude, and for all that punishment that he took, I mean, the guy got knocked so many times.
I'm just sick and tired.
He's flawless right now.
I'm sick and tired of these Canelo haters. You don't understand how many people were saying Plant was going to win before the fight. But after, they'll make excuses and try to downplay it and hate. I promise you, so many people were like, oh, Plant might do it. Oh. I promise you.
Yeah, and
I don't know who was saying that Plant was going to win, though. I can't. I thought nobody gave Plant a chance in that fight.
Just the haters. Haters and LDBC.
Plenty of people were giving Plant a chance. I promise you.
Those Mayweather fans, probably.
There's a lot of people who were saying that actually Plant was going to knock out Canelo. I mean, including you're talking about analysts and professionals like Andre Ward. He said he was going to knock out Canelo, right?
Yeah, but Andre Ward is close with Caleb Plant. That don't count.
Well, I don't know, man. There was a lot of people out there, LDBC and
Areola, what's his name?
Chris Areola.
Yeah,
Chris Areola.
He was saying Plant was gonna win. I heard some other dudes on some other.
Yeah,
YouTube.
but some are biased in the sense that they're close. For example,
Christian,
like if I'm close with Plant, I'm gonna say Plant's gonna win.
LDBC community.
Facts. I promise you they were. There's a lot of channels that I follow that I was hearing them say this Plant's gonna win. Oh, this is it. And so
I don't think.
I have a question for you guys. I mean, I was big on Zurdo Ramirez.
Yeah.
His last fight, though, man. I mean, it was incredible. I didn't think he was. I don't think he was a Zurdo that I thought he was. He got hit too much by the Cuban. I don't think he can last. I think Colin Smith knocks out Zurdo Ramirez, and Bivol will beat him on points, and I don't think he can beat any top contenders. Even Joe Smith, I think.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they will never fight. They're just waiting for Canelo payday. That's why you should stop mentioning these dudes, promoting these funny dudes.
Yeah, but what do you guys think about Zurdo?
Here, so he doesn't put it in there, and the mace gets him.
But what do you guys think about Zurdo?
I like.
I like his eyes. I think the boxing
What's all that noise about?
What's going on?
That's Christian, man. Come on.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Christian, the LDBC videos are playing in the background. Mute them.
What's going on, Christian?
So I'll try to be brief about this.
Please.
Listen, Caleb Plant predicted Caleb Plant to beat Canelo because I thought his length, his boxing ability, his movement will be able to do it.
I remember
now,
that.
We remember
what happened in that fight. Canelo had trouble cutting distance. He was getting touched up by the jab. He was getting hit.
That's true.
And Canelo even admitted that he was frustrated. So because Canelo has now, when I say Canelo's got slow feet, I'm talking about his foot speed. Canelo didn't have the foot speed to slip and cut range simultaneously. He doesn't have that kind of speed. So his only remedy to cut range was to walk through Caleb Plant's punches to cut range. And that's what he did. And that's how he exerted pressure. He took the shot so he can deliver shots. Now, against someone like Andrade, who has the same length, but even better boxing ability. But the difference is Andrade has power in both hands. Canelo's not going to dog walk him. He's going to get hurt if he decides, I'm going to take a shot and cut that range so I can get it on the inside. Plus, Andrade can fight in the pocket, unlike Caleb Plant, and he's a better boxer off the back foot.
Chris, against who's talking? Against who's talking? We're comparing this idea to the way you're breaking it down. Against who's talking? Who's he thought that you think he's gonna be able to stay there in the pocket with an elite? How are you coming out with this theory?
What about which theory in particular?
Well, staying in the pocket, being able to fight the way you said.
I've seen Andrade fight in the pocket effectively. I've seen him fight. I've seen him land bombs, uppercuts.
Right, no,
in the pocket. He can crack.
Right, we all have. Even better, Beav and even Golovkin, before he started fighting elite fighters, he was a beast. We thought he was invincible, and then he looked human. He started facing proper opposition. And he's no Golovkin, brother.
Okay.
At all.
Listen. Golovkin is a simple, straight up and down fighter. He doesn't use angles. He's very conventional. If he fought Andrade will stop him. I'm sorry. He'll stop him. Yeah, I'm sorry. No. It's the truth. Golovkin is slow. He's not athletic.
That's your truth. That's your truth.
That's what I see on tape. The guy can't fight off the back foot. He doesn't use angles. All he has is a good jab. You take away his jab, you can beat Golovkin. Golovkin is flat-footed and slower than Canelo is.
Christian, Andrade to stop Golovkin. Golovkin's never been down in his career, Christian.
He'll stop him by accumulation, because if it was to fight Golovkin, he will take away his jab using the southpaw angle, because Andrade fights off the center line. As a southpaw, when you're off the center line and the orthodox fighter shoots the jab, the orthodox fighter is exposed off the southpaw angle. So every time he'll shoot that jab, Golovkin he's going to get countered once, twice, every single time, to the point where Golovkin's going to stop throwing the jab. And when that happens, then his offense is neutralized.
So you think Andrade's not going to get touched, and Andrade's going to be off through the rounds? It's going to be the same Andrade as in the first round?
Everybody gets touched, but not enough to break him down. Not enough to break him down. The only way to tire out Andrade, you have to come forward eating shots like Liam Williams did with a high punch output. What's going to happen, Canelo can't do that because Canelo doesn't have a high punch output.
You know what's going to happen? And like you said, it's going to be pretty simple. Golovkin is going to cut the ring. He's going to pressure, and he's going to keep hitting that the body of Andrade, and he's going to slow him down. And by the end, maybe 8th or 9th round, he's going to be so weak on his feet that he's not going to have any power behind those jabs, behind Andrade's skill. He's going to be done. It's going to be done probably by the 8th or 9th round. He's going to take.
Listen, all I have to say is,
he's going to take his punches. He's going to make him weaker. He's going to get knocked out.
It's ironic. It's ironic that you think that Andrade, when Golovkin doesn't even have the confidence in himself to fight the man. In spite Murad. Golovkin has been ducking Andrade. He's been ducking Charlo. That guy's been ducking the champions of that division.
That has nothing to do with the way the fight's going to play out. When the fight plays out, I mean, if they're not fighting each other, that's a whole different scenario right there.
We all know what the motive is. Andrade wants to fight Charlo. He wants to fight Golovkin. Them two, they're ducking him. And I know why they're ducking him. Because the problem is that he'll take away their jab. They know that he's trouble, that they can't beat him. Now, the one guy that's going to be interesting is Janibek. Janibek is a younger version of Golovkin who has a jab. They fight the same way. I think Andrade's going to beat him. And when he beats him, that'll be more further proof that if he fought Golovkin, it'd be even easier.
Christian,
Listen,
there's a lot of people that thinks Janibek beats Andrade. A lot of people, and they don't even think Andrade's gonna take that fight.
I don't think so.
Don't think
He's too conventional.
Imran, I don't.
You're not gonna beat Andrade being conventional, straight
Christian,
up and down. That's not gonna work.
I can't even argue. I mean, if everybody's ducking,
though, is he gonna take that fight?
I have no idea. No one knows.
Isn't he going to 168
What would you say? Do you think Andrade's gonna move up to 168?
He might. I don't know what he's gonna do. Your guess is as good as mine.
I think if Andrade
is
wants
that
to
ducking?
move up to 168, a lot of people are gonna say he's ducking Janibek.
I don't think he's ducking Janibek, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a lose-lose proposition. Number one, the guy has no belt. Number two, he only has 11 professional bouts. Nobody knows him. So if Andrade fights him and beats him, what's going to be the narrative from all the Canelo fangirls? He beat another Uber driver. He can't win either way.
But that is mandatory, though, Christian. He has to fight him.
No, he can move up to 168. He's got that option, and if he does that, I wouldn't blame him. Because he's got nothing to gain from beating Janibek. That's just the God's honest truth.
168, that's the issue. Who's he going to fight? There's no one there apart from Benavidez. Really.
There's no, except for Benavidez. I think if he moves up, he should fight Benavidez and be done with it.
Do you think he beats Benavidez?
I think he'll beat Benavidez. It'll be a good fight, but he'll beat him.
I don't think anybody 160 beats Benavidez. But
listen,
Golovkin
Benavidez is good. I don't think he can beat Canelo. He'll give Canelo a lot of trouble, but right now he can't beat Canelo. He has no defense. He's too square. He's got a lot of things to work on his game. He's got a lot of deficiencies. He can't beat Canelo. Canelo will tear him up in the pocket.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Benavidez has any shot.
No, he does. He's going to give Canelo a lot of trouble, but he's not going to beat him.
But how though, Christian? He's not got punching power. He's just got hand speed. He's got no footwork. He's got a very poor defense. His chin is suspect. How? I don't like. How
he's got length and he's got a high punch output. That is what he has. And Canelo, and he does have power. He does. He can crack.
But the last guy that he fought, that guy was taking punches like he was, Benavidez was hardly hurting that guy.
I believe that Benavidez knocked out his last opponent. He put him out.
No, he was stopped on the feet. They stopped it. They stopped it in the round. But what I mean is, the fight went about 9 rounds, and that guy was.
Yeah, but he still stopped him. I mean, it's boxing.
Penny, did you what? Yeah, he was.
I mean, Canelo went 11 rounds with Caleb Plant.
I agree, but Caleb Plant's a very skilled fighter. That guy was a lower level fighter, Christian.
Yeah, but I'm positive that Benavidez will give Canelo a good fight, but I wouldn't bet on Benavidez. I think Canelo would win that fight. In order to beat Canelo, it takes a technical boxer who knows how to use angles, who has length and hand speed and the footwork and power, the complete package. That's the type of fighter that beats Canelo.
Charlo. It looks like Charlo might fight Canelo. I think that might be the next fight.
I kind of told you, in our private discussion that that's a 50-50 fight because Charlo has a real strong thudding jab. If he can establish the jab and keep Canelo at range off that jab, he'll win that fight. If he can't and Canelo gets in the pocket, then Canelo will win because Charlo's game doesn't have a lot of layers to his game. Once you take away his jab, Charlo struggles. And you saw that against Korobov, and you saw that against Montiel. But they took away his jab through different means. Korobov had foot speed. He was able to dart in and out like Pacquiao does. Montiel didn't have to move his feet. He's super taller, much taller than Charlo. All he had to do was just stand square in front of him and use his length to counter his jab. But Canelo has to walk through that jab. The question is, can he do it? I don't know.
Christian, Montiel and Korobov, they're not in Canelo's level. It's like Canelo is like
you're not missing this, but you're missing the schematics. How is Canelo going to get past that jab?
That's the one thing, Christian. That's the problem. See, you compare fights that have no relevance to a Canelo, to any of Canelo's opposition, to Canelo himself. That's the wrong way of comparing fights. You're just seeing that angle, your own angle, to whatever's convenient for you to
Okay.
for your narrative. That's the
Do you
problem.
agree with me that do you agree that Canelo doesn't have the fastest feet in the world? Can we agree on that?
He's got
I'm
pretty
sorry?
good feet.
Can we agree? Do you agree that Canelo doesn't have fast feet?
No, I think
Doesn't
he's
have
got
fast feet? Oh,
I think
Good speed.
he's got the jerky speed whenever he needs to
he's
to move. He's gonna do whatever he takes.
Yeah.
It depends on the fight.
Listen,
It's not always
if
gonna be
we
the
can
same.
come to
He's not
if
gonna
we can
he's
agree
not
on
gonna-
a fact, listen, it's a fact that he's got slow feet, and if you
Yeah,
can't
he's
agree
not
that he does,
he's not
then there's
gonna
no point in having
he's
a
not
conversation.
he's not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, Christian.
Lawler.
He's got slow feet. He's got slow feet, but he's got educated feet.
That's
No, no,
correct. He's got educated footwork, but having educated footwork is not gonna help him slip the jab, dart in at the same time simultaneously to stay in the pocket, like Korobov did, like Pacquiao used to do. So his only way he's going to get in that distance, he has to eat that jab and walk through it. The question is, can he do that to Charlo?
Christian,
I don't know.
Christian, I think
Yeah.
Canelo has enough speed to be able to apply the power that he needs to use against according to the opposition. If he had
Okay.
fast speed, super fast speed, then he probably won't be the powerful fighter that he is today. He's a very balanced fighter. So you can't. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's really relevant. Fast, medium, low speed. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it depends on the fighter. He's gonna be whatever the opposition brings him, and that's it. I mean, there's so much evidence. I mean, there's so many fights that you can see that. You can see the difference in Canelo's game. So you cannot apply one fight, the way Canelo fought one fight against certain opposition, and say that he's gonna be that same fighter against everyone else. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean, that's the problem.
Did you see the Callum Smith fight when Canelo fought him?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. How did Canelo cut range on a guy who's 6'3"? How did he do it? I want to see if you were paying attention to detail.
How did he?
Yeah, How
he did great.
Amazing. How did he do
Incredible.
It?
What was that?
But how did he do it?
Use his legs.
Down. He walked him down.
Okay, but how?
He cut off the ring.
No. We're not cutting off the ring. Guys, don't confuse with cutting distance. Cutting over. They're two different skill sets.
Okay, go ahead. What is your point?
First, Callum Smith doesn't have a jab. Okay? And the way Canelo got into the pocket, he kept coming forward under a high guard. Now, let's look at Bill Saunders. How did he cut distance on Billy Joe? He did the same thing. He crept forward slowly under a high guard, plodding forward. Okay. Then when cutting off the ring, when Billy Joe started moving laterally to it, I believe to his left, okay. He started cutting off the ring when he got up against the ropes. But for the most part, he was creeping into the pocket under a high guard, plodding forward. He did the same thing with Caleb Plant. It's the same pattern over and over and over. Did you know?
I don't see the pattern. I mean, I see what Canelo is good at. He does whatever he needs to do. Okay. With depending on the opposition. I see the way.
Canelo doesn't have fast feet, and that's how he fights taller fighters. Against Charlo, the recipe work against a very strong jab from a guy who's 6.
Yeah. Well, that's
with a span as Caleb Plant. I don't know.
Well, that does sum up with what the power he needs to build, to be able uh, to apply those power punches that where he knocks out these opposition. He couldn't do it with all that with a lot of speed. He needs to place his feet right. He needs to make the right turns, twist, his angles, his legs, his body. So that's how he's a powerful man. He's mastered the way of movement.
Listen, Canelo is fast with his hands. He's good with his, but his feet are slow, and his upper body movement only really is effective when you're in the pocket, not when you're out of range.
Well,
that's a fact.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, okay. He's got slow feet, so that's why you think that he's gonna lose against Andrade, and you thought he was gonna.
Listen, no.
He was gonna lose against Plant and all the other fights. You thought Canelo was gonna
lose against. Listen, he'll lose against Andrade, in my opinion, because of Andrade has a complete skill set. He has multiple layers to his game. You take away his jab, he's got something else. Charlo doesn't have a lot of layers. He's got that jab. If Canelo can walk through that jab and get in the pocket, he'll beat Charlo. But if he can't walk through that jab, he's going to lose the fight.
Who do you think is the top 160 right now? If they all fight, say that we had a contest going on between Golovkin, Andrade, Murata, and Charlo. Who do you think? Andrade, really?
Andrade's the best fighter among all the belt holders. He's the best.
I think it's Golovkin, then Charlo. If Munguia gets involved, then it's gonna be probably Munguia, and then I think Andrade's is the last one on there.
We
but
can agree to disagree. I mean, the film, what I see on tape tells me otherwise.
Okay. What do you guys think, Imran?
I don't know, man. I think Andrade's up there. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Golovkin's a tricky one for me.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
Charlo,
I don't know what he's
Murata, but the Golovkin fight for me, that's a hard one, man. That's just the pressure and this. I don't know. That's a
listen. Golovkin is old. He's old. He's done.
Yeah, but still.
To me, the one who looks like a young Golovkin is Janibek. I wish he had the title. I wish he had the IBF strap so that Andrew could fight a big unification. But unfortunately, Janibek only has 11 fights, which makes me wonder how the hell is he the mandatory with only 11 fights?
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Andrade being called out by Rosado?
Yeah. What's happening?
Come on, bro. Rosado.
That would be a good fight. Oh, I'd love to see that fight. Hell yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, Rosado. The only fight I want to see I want to see Andrade fight Charlo. That's the fight I want to see, or Canelo.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's nothing interesting. Nothing that really sticks out to me.
I rather see Canelo face upper challenges, and I want to see 160 face each other. I think it's going to be more challenging for each other. They're at their, facing the men of their own size, so to say. I think I'd rather see a challenging fight between both fighters than a Canelo that we already know what's going to happen against any 160 pounder. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
All right.
So,
well, listen, we're going to find out soon enough who Canelo's going to fight. I mean, I have doubts that it's going to be Charlo. I'm not believing the chatter that I hear. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Jamal at all.
So who do you think? Like, who do you think then? I don't see that anyone else. Like Bivol's a tough fight. Joe Smith. Is it going to be Joe Smith? I thought he looked terrible, by the way. I didn't think he looked good.
I think it might be Joe Smith. He's going to stay on his white European tour. That's what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not really keen on that fight. Like, I don't really like that fight.
I'm not either.
I think
I'm not
really
either.
want that fight, to be honest.
I think he should just go fight Better Beef. If it isn't going to be Andrade, go fight Better Beef.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a dangerous fight.
That's a dream fight for me. That's a dream fight.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a 50-50 fight. And it's a dangerous fight because even though Canelo has good upper body movement, the problem is that if he's going to be in the pocket, he makes one mistake, it could be night-night because Beterbiev has knockout power that only takes us one shot. He's not an accumulation puncher, but if he lands one shot, it's over. And if
So
Canelo
Christian,
gets hurt in the pocket, he doesn't have the foot speed to get out of trouble.
Christian, based on speed and skills, all around fighting abilities, you actually think Canelo can make more mistakes than better beef himself with the toolbox that Canelo's
That's
gonna
what I'm
bring up to
telling
the ring?
you. His toolbox is not as deep as you think it is.
Oh, come on, Christian.
It's
Jesus.
not. It's
Oh my
not.
God, a man that's coming
It's
from
not.
147, brother.
Listen,
Christian,
Canelo can't fight
Christian,
off the back foot.
Christian,
Canelo's never been able to fight off the back foot.
hold on.
He's never been able to utilize
Let's
angles off movement.
forget about all those little,
He comes.
brother,
He applies pressure coming forward. That's
brother.
That's the
You
only
got.
way he fights.
Let's forget about all those idiosyncrasies that you.
You want to see
you
someone
have.
with an all-around skill set? Shakur Stevenson. Boots
Oh my
Ennis.
God. Let's just stick to 160, 168,
No, but I'm
175.
telling you, we're talking about a complete skill
let me
set.
just say something.
I mean, Canelo
Brother,
only comes forward to apply pressure. He doesn't use
how
angles.
tall is Canelo? How tall is
He's
Canelo?
5'7".
Okay, 5'7.5", 5'8". The dude
No,
has the
5'7".
body of a welterweight. He's got the height of a welterweight. The dude has come up from 147 to 175 to the world of giants.
Actually, he has the height of a junior
blowing up
middleweight.
giants, man. I mean, come on, man. Give this guy. If he had no skills, the way you put it up to be, it's crazy, man. I mean, the guy's a 5'7.5". He's fighting on a weight he's not supposed to be fighting. He's doing stuff that not even Roy Jones Jr. was doing, man. I mean, come on.
Listen, the only legit win that he has, win he has at 168 was Caleb Plant. He beat Caleb Smith, but Caleb Smith is not a great fighter. I'm sorry. He lost to a journeyman. He lost to John Ryder of all people.
Brother, Colin Smith could actually take a few belts from at 175. Honestly, I think
the guy has no jab.
Even better.
He has no jab.
Huh?
Have you actually seen the fight when he fought Canelo? Dude doesn't even know how to use his length.
I wouldn't miss a Canelo fight for nothing, brother. And I love Colin Smith, man. I think Colin Smith's a great fighter, man.
Christian, this is Mike T's got a question for you. He said Andrade got dropped already. What makes you think he can take the same shot from GGG or Canelo? He goes, Andrade is hype.
Oh my God. Andre Ward got dropped in his career, and he still was undefeated.
That's enough. That's all you need to have. That's all you need to know.
Andre's never been knocked out. So he's got a chin.
But has he? Do you think if he gets hit by a Canelo or Golovkin, he's going to be able to ride it out?
Yes.
As soon as
he's going to get hit eventually. In boxing, it's boxing. Everyone gets hit. You know, it's just a question of mitigating the number of times you get hit.
As soon as he feels Golovkin's power, man,
Canelo's not a one-punch knockout artist. He's an accumulation puncher, and his volume is low. You're not going to beat Andrade with a low punch with a low punch output. You're not.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I'd like to see the Golovkin and Andrade fight. I think that would be a good fight.
Imran. I mean, Golovkin. I mean, everybody also sleeps on Golovkin because he doesn't have enough. He's been very low activity lately. But it's like, I mean, you can compare Pacquiao. Old Pacquiao. The dude, even at an age, he was still able to beat elites, great fighters. Golovkin is such a special fighter that even at an old age, slowing down, he is gonna maintain that power. He's got the power, and I'm pretty sure the chin's probably gonna be there. I think that if he's got that chin and he's got that power, that pressure, he'll beat anybody at 160, man. I mean, he'll get beat up, like in the Demetrius, but he is gonna go through everyone. I think, in my opinion, if you still got something else.
Power and chin doesn't win fights, not at the elite level.
I don't know. Golovkin's been proven time and time again. Andrade, I mean,
look like crap against Derevyanchenko and haven't
what has he
fought him
done?
in
I mean,
years.
look, Christian, Andrade had all he haven't beat one champion since 2013. Well, ever since he turned pro. Okay, all his belts they have been given to him. Okay,
That's the
he hasn't
politics
beat
of boxing.
anybody for
Okay,
those
I mean,
belts. He's not.
we all
He's
know
not
what.
even a
Listen, we all
champion.
know what's going on in boxing with the
hands.
politics.
He got
We all
handoffs,
know
man.
what's
That's it. Huh? I'm sorry?
Listen, I think there's a guy named Joker. No, forget it. I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Andrade and Jamal Charlo are career.
No, someone said that Andrade ducked Jamel Charlo. I mean, boxing fans are incredibly misinformed.
Jamel or Jamal? Jamel or Jamal?
Jamel Charlo.
All right, okay. Jamel is the one at 154.
Yeah, it's that is a false narrative because there never was a contract that was agreed to in the first place. So you can't pull out of a fight unless there's a binding contract. We have contracts in boxing for a reason. And if you don't agree on a contract and you didn't agree on terms, that's not a duck. Here we go again. Andre duck, Lara, Jamel. Oh my God. I'm not gonna waste my time.
Here's the thing though, Andrade is struggling to secure anyone at the minute. He's getting older, Christian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I said that Father Time's going to catch up to Andrade before Canelo does or anyone else does.
What's it called? Paulie Malignaggi. He said that he felt that Charlo and Andrade were two guys that could beat Canelo, and he said that Andrade, I don't think that anymore because I think Andrade's past his prime.
That's a plausible. I heard what Paulie said, and that's plausible.
You think that Andrade could be at the end of his
he could be starting to slip. I'm not sure because I can't tell. I need this. If he fights Janibek, then I'll know.
That'd be a shame. Like I was watching a podcast about Andrade, and they were saying, what does Andrade do right now? And I remember Barry Jones, who's a former world champion, said, Andrade should just carry on doing what he's doing, keep making money, keep active, just keep doing what he's doing. Because to be honest with you, at the end of the day, the main thing is for you to secure your financial future. Which obviously I don't know whether Andrade has made a shed load of money. Which I'm not so sure because he hasn't really had any big fights, really. He hasn't had, I think Billy Joe, he was supposed to fight Billy Joe and then Billy Joe tested, but like that would have been his biggest fight. So I don't understand, like with certain fighters like a Andrade, like a Rigondeaux, I feel like they just get put on the shelf and their careers just waste away.
We saw the lawsuit that Bud Crawford filed against Top Rank. This is a problem that's pervasive in the sport.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. That was a bit of I think that's, I don't know, man. That's a bit weird, isn't it, Christian, to accuse someone of something like that that's worked with so many people from different backgrounds. I don't know.
Listen, it's not weird. And I'm telling you, as a lawyer, Bud has a case. And it's going to get settled because Bob Arum doesn't want to go to trial.
Yeah. I was told that, but I think it was you that told me that, or someone else. So I watched the video somewhere else where they were saying that it'll probably get settled.
Well, it's going to get settled. It's going to get settled.
I don't know. I feel for Terence Crawford, man. Terence Crawford's another fighter, a very skilled fighter, but their careers get wasted.
But look, you see a pattern, Rigondeaux, even Shakur Stevenson, who's now finally getting a match with Oscar Valdez, only because of this lawsuit against Top Rank, because now Top Rank.
But he fought Jamel Herring. That was a good fight.
Yeah, but he wants to fight these other guys, Valdez. It's like Mexican fighters or certain fighters of a certain skin color are being protected from black fighters. I mean, the pattern is there, and this is going on in multiple weight classes.
Christian, so is his case, how strong is his case? Because I know you're a lawyer. So say, for example, you're defending Bob Arum. What angle would you say? What would be the defendant's case?
Okay, one of the angles I would say is that there was no breach of contract. This is on the breach of contract count because he tried to negotiate a deal, okay, with PBC, and the money just wasn't there. But the problem with that is that once discovery starts, document production, so that they can verify just how much money Top Rank had to put into those fights. They're also going to take deposition of Al Heyman, and they're going to go into what exactly transpired in that negotiation. That's going to open up a can of worms. The other problem is not so much the breach of contract count, which I think he's got a strong case. It's going to come down to the fraudulent misrepresentation in the inducement and breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. Because there you have to show intent. And when you see all the evidence of racial bias and Bud's comments in the media, the jury can infer from all that he breached his duty of good faith to honor the contract, and that he also committed fraud in the inducement because he never intended to promise him to really try to get in the Spence fight.
But Christian, what about when Bob tried to call Al? Al sometimes doesn't return phone calls, and when he does pick up the phone, they'll say, no, Spence is fighting someone else, or Pacquiao is fighting someone else. And they did.
Well, we don't know that. No, we don't know that. You know, that's why we have discovery. Depositions will be taken of these witnesses.
Yep.
If I was Bud's team, I'm going to depose Al Heyman. They're going to get Heyman under oath, and they're going to find out, okay, what happened? Because there was a meeting between Heyman and Arum about trying to set up a fight for the Spence fight.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to find out exactly who said what in that meeting.
Yeah,
so we really don't know. We have to wait how discovery pans out. And the case has just been removed to federal court.
Yeah, also, Christian, Bud Crawford is probably the highest paid, apart from Pacquiao. Bud Crawford is probably the highest paid welterweight in the world.
Okay. He is well paid, but that's not a defense to the fact that Bob didn't honor the contract to the.
Yeah.
Because he did promise. If you look at I don't know if you've read the complaint, but it seems to me that he breached the Spence clause. He's probably going to argue frustration of purpose as an affirmative defense, saying that it was an impossibility. He tried to make the fight happen, but couldn't.
But Christian, I have seen the complaint, and I think it's like it's about 30 pages long or something like that. But
yeah, it's like 30-something pages long.
Yeah, but Christian, has anyone looked at Bud's contract? Because Top Rank would have written that, and wouldn't those contracts have like getaway clauses? Like God knows what clauses they'll put in there.
Listen, I don't think Top Rank wrote it. I don't think it's a contract in adhesion. A contract in adhesion is like an insurance policy where you take it or leave it. It's not subject to negotiation. That contract was negotiated, so I don't think it was a contract in adhesion. And they had input from both sides, and I know that because the Spence clause was something that Bud wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of Terence Crawford's career, the thing is like Andre Ward had this issue with his promoter, and he had to settle it. I don't know what happened there.
I think he waited.
But like it ruins careers, man. We like Terence Crawford needs to get on with fighting. We want to see him fight. Well, Christian, what does Terence Crawford do next? I don't understand. Like, what does he do next?
Listen, I would like to see Crawford man up and fight Boots Ennis. Because to me, I can care less about Spence versus Crawford because I don't think neither guy is the best welterweight in the world. In my opinion, it's Boots. Boots can beat both of them.
Yeah. Well, Spence can't fight Bud at the moment because Spence he's got an opponent.
He's got Ugas. So I'm like, okay, you fight Ugas, Bud, go fight Boots.
Yeah, and it's not a foregone conclusion that Spence can beat Ugas too. Like,
what? Exactly. We don't even know what we're going to see in Spence. He's been out of the ring for a long time.
Yeah.
But Christian, just going back to that legal case, I don't like Bud's angle of using the race. Like, maybe he probably doesn't need that, don't you think? Like, I don't.
No. Listen, the racial bias angle is the evidence is going to use to establish intent, because some of the legal counts that's asserted, you need to show intent. Like fraudulent misrepresentation has an element of what's called scienter. Scienter is intent. You use the racial bias to show that Arum never really truly intended to honor his promise from the start. And you need to show why. You need to show the motive.
Yeah. Christian, you work. I'm guessing you work for your own company, right? So
yeah, I have my own practice.
Yeah, you have employees, right?
Yeah, I have an assistant.
Yeah, so you treat everyone the same, but you have someone in your employee that's like a star, who always gets his work done, or he or she gets his work done. They always work overtime. So you know what I mean? So you may treat everyone fairly, but you're gonna treat that person who gives you the revenue differently. Look, it doesn't mean that it's racial bias. It's just that, like, for example, if someone like when Pacquiao was in his stable, because Pacquiao was bringing in the revenue, of course he's gonna treat Pacquiao a little bit differently than Bud, because Bud is not a pay-per-view star, whereas Manny is. You know what I mean? So that's going to be hard to prove in the court of law, right? I'm not a lawyer, but
not necessarily. I mean, what a lot of people think is that you need like the smoking gun to prove a case. No, all you have to do is show the entire landscape of everything that Arum has said in the media, everything he's done, and when you combine that together, a jury can draw the inference that, hey, there is a disparity of treatment in the stable of boxers. Why is Bud being treated this way? Why can't he get these fights, but Lomachenko can get a fight with no problems with a belt holder? You follow what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that it's a slam dunk case for Bud. All I'm saying is it's enough for him to survive what's called a summary judgment, so that he can get to trial. At trial, it's 50-50.
But Christian, don't you only need one person in the what's it called, in the what's that bench? The way
jury trial.
Yeah. Don't they only need one person to say no, I don't agree, and it's a hung jury?
It varies. They're in federal court. I think it has to be unanimous. I think it's by majority vote. I'm not sure. I have to look up the rule right now. But you also have to consider that this is not a criminal case, so the standard of proof is a lot more lenient. It's the greater weight of the evidence, meaning that if the evidence weighs slightly in the scale and it tips slightly in favor of Bud, he wins. If the scales tip slightly in favor of Top Rank wins. Yeah. So it's an easy threshold to meet, unlike a criminal case, which requires reasonable doubt.
Yeah, because Christian, this is the first time that a fighter has accused the promoter of this sort of a magnitude. I've never, it's unprecedented. Christian, this is the first time that a fighter, it's unprecedented. And looking at Top Rank's history of being sued, I don't think they've lost a lot. In fact, they've won them, nearly majority of them, right?
No, they've settled. All their lawsuits, they've settled.
Okay. You won't get 10 million though, that's for sure. That's too
No, he'll get more than 10 million. He'll get more than 10 million. Because Bob doesn't want to go to trial. Because he's got too much to lose.
$10 million after tax?
He'll get more than, I think Bud will settle for more than 10 million when this is over.
Wow.
Christian, I want to pick up on a point that you made there about you think Ennis would beat all of them. I do think Ennis, I do think, do you think it's a bit premature saying that though? Like a lot of people are saying that, I was listening to a podcast actually on, British podcast, and they were saying Ennis is good, but like he doesn't beat Crawford or Spence. Like I think people are getting carried away. What do you think?
Absolutely not. Listen, Spence is the easier fight for Boots than Crawford, because Spence is very conventional. He's got educated footwork, but he comes forward in a high guard. He's not very fast on his feet. His footwork is good, but he doesn't have the fastest feet. And he's flat-footed. And he comes forward exerting pressure. Bud is different. Bud fights. Bud, put it to you this way. Bud can fight from both stances. But the difference is that Boots can do it better. Boots is naturally ambidextrous. Bud isn't. And Boots is bigger, faster. He to me, Boots is like Terrence Crawford on steroids. Bigger, faster.
Do you? I don't know. I don't know. I like Ennis. I actually think he's really good, and I think he can beat all of them welterweights. I've even said this a lot. I've said this. I think he's probably the best. I don't know whether you can call him a prospect at this point, but I think he's the best young talent in boxing.
He's a contender.
Yeah, no doubt. But you also consider that. Listen, Bud is 34.
Yeah.
Boots is a young stallion. They get in there, and I'm telling you, I mean, he's bigger than him. He's stronger. He has all the physical attributes to his advantage over Bud.
Yeah, but
one thing that Bud has is more experience.
But Christian, in today's boxing landscape,
Boots is special.
In today's boxing landscape, 34 is quite young because they don't fight as often anymore. Like they only fight maximum twice a year. So 34 is kind of like equivalent to maybe 31 in today's.
I agree.
landscape.
I mean, and that's one of the things I've said about Andrade. Some people say that he's slipping. I don't know, but he's only 33. Doesn't have a lot of mileage. For the same reasons you just said.
Canelo's 31, but he's got a lot of mileage.
Canelo's different. Canelo has a lot of mileage, and I think Canelo's window is going to close sooner than you think.
Yeah, and he's fighting bigger guys too.
Yeah,
but the style though,
at some point,
wouldn't his style allow him to actually go longer?
He's not an athletically gifted fighter, Canelo. So it's not like a Roy Jones, where Roy Jones deteriorated very fast because Roy Jones was not technically, from a technical standpoint, Roy Jones wasn't the most technically correct fighter, but he was so athletically gifted that he could do things wrong and make it right. He was just a unique type of fighter. Canelo's not like that. Canelo doesn't rely on speed or reflexes like some of like Roy Jones. He's a different type of fighter.
Yep.
Roy Jones was like, he was a magician.
All right, guys. Well, listen, bro. I'm gonna bail. Talking to you guys.
All right, Chris.
All right, take care, Christian, man.
All right, take care. Let's see what happens, bro. I mean, hopefully we'll get some news soon enough. Who Canelo's gonna fight next, and we'll see and then I'll come back on and see who it is.
Good point, Christian. Good point.
Hey, Christian, after the aftermath of this legal case with Bud and Bud at Top Rank, you should come in. So I'd like to hear your take on what really happened. You know what I mean? From a legal point of view, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, listen. Just so you guys know, the case has been moved from the Nevada court to the federal circuit, to the federal district court. It got removed on the 15th, so it's on the federal docket right now. So I'm going to be watching the docket. They're going to start discovery soon. And when they move for summary judgment, that's when you're going to see all the deposition transcripts, everything of what witnesses that they deposed have said. And then we'll get more insight as to what the evidence is.
Hey, Christian, before we go, did you see that Nonito Donaire and Rachel Donaire break down their Top Rank contract with Punch Boxing? I thought that was they did it for like 2 hours. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was really good. Like Rachel was going through the contract like friggin' page by page. And she was saying that this is unfair, blah, blah, blah. It's on Punch Boxing. It's really good, man.
Well, listen, I mean, they went through, which contract did they go through?
His Top Rank contract.
Listen, I was on the Boxing Voice last week, and I've read some of these contracts. These contracts are draconian. They are written in favor of the promoter.
Yes.
The fighters really are getting shafted. Most fighters.
Yeah, that's what Rachel was complaining about.
Like in the PBC contract, Heyman has the power to unilaterally reject fights or contract offers with consent of his fighters. That's why when people talk about when the whole thing came up that that Charlo rejected a contract offer to fight Canelo a few years back, but Charlo said he never saw the offer. Charlo was telling the truth because in the interview that De La Hoya said that Heyman, PBC, rejected the contract, not Charlo. And I know that Charlo's telling the truth because I've read the PBC contract. And when I read that clause, that told me right then and there that he never saw the contract. Heyman rejected it. Now, as to why he rejected it, I would assume because the money wasn't right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine Top Rank has the same language in their contract. It's a boilerplate clause that's standard in the industry.
But the thing is though, like I get it from promoters' side. Like promoters also make a lot of these fighters who they are as well. Like, look, Terence Crawford was before I didn't even know who he was, like 6-7 years ago, and Top Rank made him a millionaire. So I feel like I get that, promoters are probably making a lot of money and stuff, and the fighters are probably some of them get shafted, but some of these guys, man, come from nowhere and they made a millionaire. So I think, I feel like you've got to. I don't know. I feel like your promoter's doing a lot for a fighter as well. Like Bob Arum, you can't say he's done nothing for Terence Crawford. He's made him a millionaire.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. That's not the issue in the lawsuit. The issue in the lawsuit is that whether or not he breached the contract. And on the breach of contract count, I think he's got a strong case on that count. The other counts are going to be litigated is the breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, the fraudulent misrepresentation, because that's going to come down to intent. And the question of intent is normally a question for a jury to decide. Rarely are you able to get a summary judgment on that type of issue. And when I say a summary judgment, that means where the evidence is so one-sided that the court can summarily decide the case.
I agree with you, Christian. It's going to get settled before it's not going to go to
it's going to get settled. And it's going to be a win for Bud either way. He's going to walk out of there with money.
But isn't Terence Crawford one of the highest paid boxers?
Yes, but how's that relevant to proving whether or not the contract was breached?
Oh,
Bob promised him that he was going to make the fight with Spence, and if he couldn't, he would pay him $900,000. And from what I recall, from what I read, he never got. I have to go back and read the complaint, but it looks like he's got a solid case, partially. On some points, he does.
I don't know. He was on the #1 pound for pound ESPN top pound for pound list. I don't know. I don't think he has a case, in my opinion. And he was one of the highest paid boxers. What more do you want? If you can't sell pay-per-view tickets, it's not Bob Arum's fault.
Listen, I recommend that you read the complaint and look at what the legal elements of a breach of contract.
I read the complaints. He said Bob Arum favors white and Latino fighters, which makes no sense. Because you can be white, Latino, and you can be black Latino. That makes no sense. He's talking about native people.
He had like 6
complaints. Pull up the complaint. Pull up the complaint if you want. But to me,
he had like 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I read what he said. To me, it just seems like he's seeing what Black Lives Matter did. They raised $1 billion, and he's just trying to capitalize and try to get as much money as he can. But I also heard that the Manny Pacquiao fight was stopped by Bob Arum or something like that. And if that's true, he might have a case.
No.
Yeah, he does. That was part of it.
I heard that. I don't know, but maybe that's his way of showing that he's not ducking Spence.
But the thing
he wants to fight Spence, but it's just money.
Manny wanted 20 million guarantee, and Bob Arum at the time, he was saying, and I think Bud wanted 8 million guarantee, and Bob at the time, he was saying that the pay-per-view for you two to fight, the revenue won't go up to that point where I can pay you 20 million and 8 million to Bud. That's why that fight didn't happen. Not because Bob wanted to protect Manny or because he wanted to get hurt or something. I think Bud was saying something like that. So it was more of a money thing.
Okay.
Well, look, here, paragraph 7. It's alleged in part to induce Crawford to agree to the Velasquez bout. Top Rank fraudulently promised to arrange for Crawford to fight Errol Spence, despite knowing that Top Rank could never deliver the promised match. That's going to require the depositions of what went on between PBC and Top Rank, and you got Bob Arum saying all kinds of things in the public that Crawford can't sell fights. Think about that. If a jury hears Bob saying that, okay, they're going to ask. The argument's going to be to the jury, why is Bob saying this? But on the other hand, he made this promise to make this fight with a fighter that he now says can't sell.
Yeah, true. He did say that.
So you're saying Bob Arum should just do the fight? Fuck it, just do it. Well, even if it doesn't sell that much, just do it.
But the problem is, Arum promised in the contract that he would deliver that fight.
He claims,
and he didn't fulfill that promise. That is a breach of contract.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see what I agree. I think it's gonna be settled anyway, between him and Arum.
Christian, look at this. Look at this. Listen, in paragraph 24, Arum himself openly makes bigoted comments in the press, commenting on what he expected black promoter Al Heyman would about having his black fighter Errol Spence fight Crawford. Arum stated Heyman is going to say, Spence, listen to me. Don't listen to the white guys, because if you listen to the white guys, they're going to steer you down the road. Listen to me, brother. We're part of a brotherhood. And if I tell you not to fight Crawford, I'm telling you not to fight Crawford. That's exactly what he'll say. This sort of stuff that he said in the media is damaging. A jury hears that, this guy really is a bigot, but he never really intended to honor that promise in the contract. This is bulletin board material for a trial.
But Christian, here's the thing. What I mean is, with that, that's just words. That's someone
exactly. But it's Arum's words, and it's admissible. And although it is hearsay, it's admissible because the jury's going to hear that.
No, but
what I'm telling you is, lawyers take stuff like this, they use it as cannon fodder to make argument to a jury.
No, but Christian, what I'm asking is, where are they gonna, like, surely, okay, if Arum refuses, he didn't say that.
No, they got him in interviews where he actually said this.
Oh, he's actually said it on tape, like.
Yes, he said a lot of stuff on tape. And all that, and they got all that's gonna. The jury's gonna hear all this.
Yeah. Arum also said
he's also criticized Crawford, hasn't he, on saying that Crawford can't sell and he could buy a house in Beverly Hills and stuff.
Exactly. Now think about this: if you're a promoter, okay, why would you promise him the Spence fight and then turn around and say he can't sell? If he can't sell, then why did you agree to this in the first place?
Hey Christian, does it bother you that boxing is not like NBA or NFL where there's a structure, right? Because boxing is like everyone is like their own small businesses. Will that hold up in court? Where, because boxing, you can pretty much do anything. It's like you can do anything, you can say anything. How are you going to defend that?
The problem with boxing, that's not a legal problem. The problem with boxing is that it's unregulated, and the boxers they're not unionized. That's what the problem is. The NBA, they have a union. Baseball, they have a union. Football, they have a union, but it's weak. Okay?
Yeah.
Boxing has no union at all. That's part of the problem. Unless fighters decide to unionize, they're going to get railroaded all the time, especially in these contracts.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, part of the reason why we as fans don't get the fights that we want is because of all this shit that we see. The way these contracts are set up, the way promoters call the shots.
Well, there's one thing I won't debate Christian on.
What? What's that?
Law.
Yeah.
That's his field, man. You can't debate him on that, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you know what?
Lawyer.
And Christian will probably agree with me with this. These promoters, they have taken advantage of fighters, not just now, even in the 80s with Don King. He used to take advantage of Larry Holmes early on in his career. He used to low blow him with his purses. Not in the late in his career, no, but early in his career he did that because he wasn't as big as Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? So and also not just Top Rank and Don King Promotions, also TMT. Like recently, I don't know if you guys have heard, Mickey Bay has come out and said that.
Oh yeah, I heard.
Yeah, remember that? And also,
yeah, I heard. Yeah, you talk about Mickey Bay's comments, right?
Yeah. Well, like,
He totally exposed everything at TMT. He exposed it, which it wasn't a shock to me. It wasn't a shock.
Yeah, and Mickey Bay had his mother was sick, so he needed some money, and Floyd promised him a certain number of fights, and he couldn't deliver. He was only fighting like once a year, and he had bills to pay.
I mean, look at Rashid Ellis with Golden Boy. The guy's been on the shelf for what, almost a year and a half, 2 years? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the sport. Excuse my language. It's fucked up. It's fucked up because there's no union in place.
But Christian, Mickey Bay didn't sue Floyd because
can you see
Mickey
the
Bay
question on the thing?
Yes.
What's that?
Can you see the question on the chat?
Why Andre ducking Janibek?
Yeah. So Stockton Carr says, ask Christian why is Andre ducking Janibek?
He's not ducking Janibek. Okay, if he moves up, if he does the vacate as well, it's not. I don't consider it a duck, for the simple reason that Janibek doesn't bring anything to the table, absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, even if Janibek seems to be but even if Andre beats him, he's not going to get credit for it. It'll be you fangirls. You Canelo fangirls will say he beat another Uber driver. The guy can't win.
That would be a good fight in terms of, I think if Andrade wins that, I think I'd give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, but the fact is the majority of the fandom, which are casuals, won't.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
What does Andrade do though? That's what I'm saying. He's in a like a rock and a hard place.
I think what Andrade should do, if it was me, I would go to 175. Forget 168. Go to 175. Yes.
Doing the Bernard Hopkins there.
Because that's where Canelo's gonna go. Go fight Joe Smith, take his belt. Then we'll see what Canelo's gonna do.
Impossible for Andre to go up that high. That's crazy.
He can. Andre's 6'1". Andrade is killing himself to fight at 160.
No,
he's killing himself.
I agree. I do think he is killing himself, but I can't see him going to 175.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he could do it. He could do it. He's got the frame for it.
I don't doubt whether he could fight there and beat some of the guys. What I'm saying is that I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think it's a realistic.
No, he won't do it. He won't. I doubt that he'll do it.
And that's the problem with Andrade. I don't know where he is. I don't know he's not getting the Charlo fight. He's not getting a Golovkin fight.
Mm-hmm.
At 168, there's nothing there, really. Let's be honest. There's nothing. Benavidez, that's it. Again, Christian, what does that fight do? Benavidez hasn't got a belt. He's not a champion.
That's a good fight. But he's got no belt.
Yeah, but he's got
nothing. Listen, I think Andrade needs to change his perspective.
He's got to get some traction.
Benavidez, forget the belt. Benavidez has a name. That's a good fight.
He's stagnant at 160. I mean, he's got to do something.
There's nothing for him to 160 because everyone's ducking him at 160. The champions are, and he wants to unify. He doesn't want to fight Janibek. Guy's got nothing to offer. Even though it will be a good fight, but at the end of the day, he's not going to get any credit for it. He's not.
I think for Andrade's, the only way to go is stay at 160 and fight, try and keep trying to get those big fights for the other bouts.
He petitioned the WBC, to be the man, which the WBC, under the WBC rules, they have the authority to do that. And Suleiman does nothing.
Has Eddie Hearn failed Andrade, Christian?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Why?
He definitely has.
Why would you say
There's
that?
only so much you can.
Eddie Hearn's normally a guy that gets his fighters big fights. He got Billy Joe a fight against Canelo. He got Callum
He
Smith
couldn't get
he
couldn't get in the fight with Canelo. And the reason why he didn't get the fight with Canelo is because he has a financial that's gonna push that. Because he's in bed with Canelo. I mean, listen, Eddie Hearn makes up excuses for Canelo. Like, for example, he made up the excuse that the reason why Canelo didn't fight Andrew for Undisputed was because Canelo couldn't make the weight anymore. That's a lie. You know, so it is what it is. You know,
And Canelo,
protected by the industry.
Canelo, I think needs to. Canelo now needs to cement his legacy. He's in the prime of his career, and I heard you speak in one of your videos that the purists won't like who he fights next. Yeah. And I really want him to fight at 175 now to prove, you know, he's up there with the Roy Joneses, like one of the fellas said here. He needs to fight Bivol.
I think he needs to go finish what he started at 168, fight Benavidez. At least that clean up the division. Canelo's never cleaned up a division, never. And we all know Benavidez is the true lineal champion, WC champion at that weight class.
How great, Christian, in your eyes, how great would Canelo, how great can he be in terms of, do you think Canelo will go down a greater fighter than Roy Jones, for example?
No.
No, he can't, because Roy Jones started at 154, went up to 175, and was undisputed the weight with 12 or 14 defenses.
Canelo is never going to. Well, listen, from the American boxing public, from a lot of American hardcore boxing fans, are never going to give Canelo, you know, the credit of being, you know, just like the best of his era.
I'm not sure where you at, Christian, but on my side, I mean, everybody sees Canelo as a great. I'm in Arizona. I don't know where you at. Where you at? Texas, Florida?
Miami.
Huh?
Miami.
Okay, I'm in Benavidez land right now. So I think everybody's up with but anyway, so it doesn't matter. Really.
Dodging the way he's moved, all these catch weights, rehydration clauses, getting fighters on short notice, not fighting the very best in his division because he never fought the best middleweight. Golovkin was not the best middleweight. You know, he ducked Andrew for Undisputed. He ducked Charlo for years. Unless he fights Charlo and Andrade and Benavidez, as far as I'm concerned, his whole entire career is a sham.
What? For Charlo and Andrade? Really?
He did go to 175, but like the fellow said, he went to put a rehydration clause on Kovalev, you know.
And he got him on short, and he got him in a short camp. Come on, you know? And we all know that Kovalev is
everybody's done that.
Fine. And Kovalev's not the best.
Pacquiao did it all his life, and he's still Pacquiao, and he's probably one of the greatest.
Roy Jones in his prime never did that to anyone.
Exactly. Roy Jones didn't move like that. And to tell you the truth, I blame Floyd for all this shit. Because that's shit from.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Canelo has plenty of time, plenty of opportunity to beat Roy Jones Jr.
You know, the difference with Floyd is that Floyd did this sort of stuff in the twilight of his career, but he didn't do it in the prime of his career. Canelo has been doing it in the prime of his career.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
that's where he learned it from. So I blame Floyd. This is Floyd's child.
Yeah, but to be honest, Christian, Floyd had a lot of great competition as well. Like Canelo doesn't have that. Like whoever.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. He didn't listen. When he was at 160, he said after he beat Jacobs, "I want the last belt." Andrew was there ready to make that fight happen. He didn't do it. He decided, I'm going to go fight Kovalev, a fight that nobody wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see him fight
here's the thing, though,
against Andrade. Then he goes, and then when he has the 2 belts and got 1 left to go, which was Plant, he decides to fight Plant for undisputed. So why didn't he do that with Andrade at 160? Come on, draw the inference.
But if Canelo beats Andrade, just say, I know you think Andrade beats Canelo, but just say Canelo beats Andrade. Just say, like, Canelo beats Andrade. No one's going to say, well, you know what? Canelo's an all-time great because he beat Andrade. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, nobody in the boxing world rates Andrade like that. They don't rate him like that.
Right. I disagree. And I'll tell you why. To be the all-time great, your contemporaries. Andrade is his contemporary. Charlo is his contemporary. He's been ducking them his entire career.
Christian, let's just say that legacy points, the history books of boxing. Okay, let's say Canelo fights Andrade and Jamal. Okay, do they count for legacy when after they fight Canelo, they fought nobody else and they just disappear? I mean, what is who are they in the history books, really? I mean, they might be something.
Well, you got Andrade, who's a 2-division champion, undefeated, an American Olympian.
He didn't beat
Charlo, another undefeated fighter.
He beat nobody.
Those 2 guys are better than the trash and he's fought at 168.
Jamal has Canelo's belt too, so he's beaten nobody for that belt.
Canelo dropped the WBC belt for the franchise.
I'm talking about the history books. Okay. When you look into the rest,
history books are going to look at Canelo as a fraud. Sorry, objective hardcore fans are seeing him as a fraud.
That's emotion talking. See, you're not thinking logical in this one. So I am thinking logical. Sum it up. No, it makes no sense.
Ever since he got schooled by Floyd Mayweather,
think about it.
He has specifically avoided Black American fighters in their prime who are undefeated champions.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I think Canelo is a great fighter, but what he needs to do now, we put him at that pedestal now, where he's got to fight Beterbiev and Bivol. He's got to. Otherwise, but fighting Beterbiev and Bivol is better than fighting Jamal Charlo and Andrade.
Exactly.
They are 171 and the champions.
Christian is right.
Sorry, guys. I don't believe fighting a bunch of Europeans is going to change anything.
Oh, here we go.
The best fighters in the world come from the United States, not Europe. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Christian, I need to say
wasn't Andrade's toughest fight? Fighter.
Up to this point, I would say it's a combination, I think, of Liam Williams was a tough fight because of how he fought him. I would also say Willie Nelson, but he died. I would also say Vanes at that time because Vanes was probably the best junior middleweight in the world when he fought him.
Christian, why isn't Andrade fighting Janibek?
I already explained all this. I've already explained this.
But I wasn't there when you explained it. What was your? I want to hear your point of why he's not fighting Janibek.
We don't know if he's. It's the question is.
Okay. Well, let's just say Andrade's not fighting Janibek. He's moving up, but like.
He's got nothing. I'll tell you. He's got no name, only 11 bouts. He's got no title, and he's unknown in the United States. There's brings no money to the table. In fact, Dazin reportedly doesn't want to pay for that fight.
He's got to fight somebody.
Okay, then. Right, so you're saying Janibek, he brings nothing to the table
because it's a lose-lose proposition. Because he's good, but the narrative will be Andrade beat another Uber driver. Who the hell is Janibek?
Okay.
I mean, that's what all the casuals are going to say.
I'm sorry, but what the hell does Andrade really bring to Canelo? I mean, Canelo can fight Beterbiev, way better guys than Andrade. I mean,
Beterbiev is not better than Andrade. Beterbiev is he's conventional. He's got dangerous power. Listen,
Andrade's a nobody.
You boys, you guys over from across the pond are funny, but listen. The best fighters.
Christian. No
Sorry, guys. All right, I gotta go. Have a nice day.
Who the hell is
Andrade? Come on, really?
I gotta go, bro. I got kids. Bye.
Okay, Christian. As soon as I say facts, you leave. Okay, here we go. Oh my
I
god!
agree.
No,
Honestly, that guy is
here's
unreal
the thing, man.
sometimes.
Here's the thing. Like, no, I disagree there. I disagree with Christian on that one. Like, nah, I have to disagree on that one just because Americans are America is a bigger country than the UK, right?
Mhm.
They're a much bigger country. We're a small country with 60 million people.
200
So of
million.
course,
200 million here.
hey,
Yeah, 200 million people. 264, I think. I think
yeah,
we're
yeah.
double
So
the
you're a
population of
bigger
Russia.
country. You've got more
Mhm.
people. There's more facilities. They're more,
Yeah, yeah,
you can't really
yeah, yeah.
compare. You
Of
can't
course.
really compare, America and the UK. But the
And it
fact
makes no
is
sense, right?
that we've had some good fighters come over to America that's done some stuff. I think that's harsh. I think
Imran,
that's harsh to
and you don't
judge you
even have to
like
go that far. Just look at the champions right now. There it's very divided. I mean, you got Asian, European, Mexican. You have champions from all over the place. Right now, it's a lot more level than what he was decades ago. I mean, he's stuck in an era. I mean, the golden age in the 80s, 70s. I don't know where he's at, but it's different now. You can't even say that. It's crazy. And
the
plus, if you're
crazy thing
talking
is
about
though,
American fighters,
Zakamo, like
American fighters are
He's
fighting
keep on
nobody.
saying bad stuff about European fights, but didn't Liam Williams, who's European, give Andrade his hardest fight? So
Yes,
like
yeah.
the guy makes
yes,
he makes no sense. Logic
yes.
makes absolutely no sense. Like
It's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy. And that's all I'm saying. And it's all American fighters that are avoiding each other. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, and someone Israel Carmona said a very good point. Andrade has fought 5 Europeans in a row. Like his last 5 fights. So like God, it makes honestly Christian
yeah.
makes no
To
sense,
be
man.
fair, Makai, like I don't really. You know what, Andrade? I was telling Christian earlier that Andrade's career is going down. He's
Mm.
34 years of age.
Yes.
Paulie Malignaggi said that Andrade might be past his prime.
Oh yeah, he very well could be. And with the
But
whole Janibek
but he
thingy,
still beat
actually,
Canelo, right?
with the whole
According to
Janibek
Malignaggi.
thingy though,
That
like
guy's a
obviously,
freaking hater.
oh yeah, Janibek, he's not known and all, but he does nothing for Andrade. But Andrade's been fighting
Mm.
his mandatories for his whole career now. That they didn't bring nothing to the table, but then since we see Janibek, who actually has a chance, who's dangerous, now all of a sudden
Wants
he's
to move up.
moving up. Oh, brings nothing to the table. Like because Janibek's actually a dangerous guy. I know what Andrade's doing. Andrade, it's a bit like with Charlo as well. Andrade and Charlo, they don't want to risk themselves because they don't want to lose the payday they could get with Canelo. I mean that's why
James,
Charlo
I
pretty
think
much.
Charlo's gonna get the Canelo
Yeah,
fight,
exactly.
boys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think Charlo will be getting it.
Giacomo, I think you're saying that Canelo. I've heard somewhere that Charlo and Canelo. Let me just check this. I think there's some news that's come out, but someone was saying earlier.
Yeah,
One
man.
sec.
Yeah, man.
yeah, I
Let me
This
think
is
I
just
true.
saw
check
that.
this.
Yeah, I've seen obviously Charlo. He done this on his
By the way,
story about
Ja- by the way, James Steer is a little bit upset because we're talking about Christian while he's not in the chat. So James Steer is a fanboy of Christian. So
Hey guys,
the.
hey guys, you know when he's saying that Canelo has slow feet, based on he's not obviously Canelo is not Mayweather or Pacquiao, but based on his size in relative terms, he's got quicker feet than like Smith, Plant, and BJ Saunders, though, or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Jacobs. Like,
His feet ain't as bad as people say it
yeah,
is.
his feet is very good.
I mean, I remember in a Khan fight, Khan even said the guy he's actually got very fast feet when he fought Khan. He
well,
even
Makai,
got shit like that.
could you
You
have
know that Danny Jacobs fight? I thought Canelo's footwork was
Oh,
very good.
yeah, I agree. Honestly, when seeing that, he just looked very fast in his feet and everything.
he's got that
But
quirky,
I'm not
that
seeing, I'm
quirky
not seeing
speed.
that. Yeah, I'm not seeing that footwork like it was in the Jacobs fight. It's still fast, but it wasn't like it in the Jacobs. I haven't seen that kind of feet in ages. I don't. But
He
maybe if he
bursts.
fights a certain guy,
Yeah,
he'll
he
probably have it.
bursts when he has to. I don't know. It's just and plus, I mean, if he had the Lara feet, I mean, would he be able to punch the way he does now? Would
He
he
wouldn't
be
have
able
the
to apply that
he wouldn't have
power?
the
I
power.
mean,
he uses the feet out whenever he doesn't have to. You know, I mean, he's Canelo. He's well balanced. A well balanced boxer's never gonna have fast speed. Fast feet. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. This guy in the comment, Jonathan, said no one will care if Canelo never fights Andrade when he retires. The only people that will care is Andrade and his 50 fans. The guy's actually got no fans. I mean, Christian is his number one fan.
You know what? I reckon that's Andrade's lawyer. Like,
honestly,
lawyer.
You know what? I think you're right. He gets so defensive. I mean, he literally left. he left alive because we were saying bad things about Andrade. Like he gets very emotional about Andrade.
He does, man. He does.
But he does bring a good case, though. To be honest, like the points that he makes, it makes you think. Like, oh, hold on a second. It makes you think twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. Christian's very intelligent. He is very intelligent. He knows his stuff.
Very
but
intelligent.
Obviously,
but he's
you know what I mean. But
he's
sidelined a little bit. Christian, like, I think he has. Like, listen, everyone has their own opinion in boxing. You know, I don't think. I know some people think that Christian's a hater towards Canelo. I don't think so. I just think he has his mind set on Canelo, and that's just his take on him. You know, like
but
some
he's
people.
Son of this, wouldn't you agree? Isn't he? I mean, come on, he's got a lot of points. Where I mean, you just saying American is better. American fighters are stylistically is better than anything else. I mean, there's so many things he makes.
He ruins it when he talks crap about European fighters and everything. He ruins it with the European fighter. Yeah, he ruins it with that talk. Does he not rate Lomachenko then? Uysk?
No, but that's what he said. You said that to him last time, Makai, and he responded back to you. There's always exceptions. So he accepts that. Yeah, there are good. Usyk and Lomachenko are great fighters and stuff, but he doesn't believe. I think he doesn't really like the European style. I think he thinks it's quite basic, whatever.
Imran, I was talking to someone on a thingy. Yeah, this guy said that Loma was handed everything when he became pro, and like he's not pound for pound because he hasn't had more than 20 fights and he's got 2 losses.
That's
you know how ridiculous that sounds,
isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was a Haney fan, so that makes a lot of sense.
A Haney fan.
Yeah, a Devin Haney fan, so it makes a lot of sense.
Devin Haney. I don't know. I think he might lose to Kambosos. I think he.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How I look at him,
I'm not that high on Devin Haney. I think he's all right.
Yeah. You know what? I saw, guys. I saw a podcast where Bill Haney was speaking to Rick Glazier. I don't know if you guys know Rick Glazier. He's one of
Rick Glazier.
Yeah, and Bill Haney said that that they are working on a Kambosos Devin Haney fight in Australia because Rick Glazier was accusing Devin Haney of like plateauing or like being content on fighting nobodies. So Bill Haney then came in and then they started going at it, right? And he said, like, he said to Rick, hey, Rick, you don't know anything about what's happening in the background. We're actually negotiating a fight with Kambosos. But the thing that Bill Haney doesn't know is that Loma is also negotiating a fight with Kambosos too. So he might not get that fight because Top Rank might offer Kambosos' team more money. So
yeah, definitely Loma's a bigger fight. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, it's good to see that you guys. I mean, a lot of people are very like angry with that fight. Like, I want to see undisputed. Like, I mean, come on, Loma versus Kambosos in Australia. That's a better fight for me. I really like that fight.
And Loma would be willing to fight because he's got a history of fighting overseas, whereas Haney does not.
Do you guys really think Haney is going to go to Australia? I mean, when he talks, he does sound like serious. It's just like I just don't actually see Haney going to Australia and facing Kambosos.
But it's Dad who has the last word on that, right? I mean, it's not him who's making the decisions anyway.
Yeah, he's Dad. Yeah. I mean, he's Dad's
Lomachenko beat all of them guys?
Oh, well, Loma would. I'm very confident Loma beats Kambosos. I think he beats Haney too, to be fair, but I think Haney might give
That would be a good
I don't know,
fight.
man. It's just with Haney's chin. I know Kambosos is tough. Just Haney.
Where does Davis fall into this?
Davis, I think Davis actually does give Loma a harder fight than
dangerous. Yeah, it's a dangerous.
But I would think
he's so much more dangerous than those two guys. 100%. I think
the
Tank
money
would beat.
I think Davis knocks out Kambosos and Haney.
Yeah, Imran. I think Tank would knock out Haney. I just don't think Haney's got a good chin. I mean, even when Diaz hit him a few times, Haney got.
Even don't sleep on Ryan Garcia.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
if I don't know where he's at the minute, but if Ryan Garcia comes back, him and Haney are that's a good fight because Ryan.
I thought I was the only fanboy here for Ryan. Jesus.
I think Shakur Stevenson would be able to beat Ryan Garcia.
Oh, that guy, he's a monster. Shakur's a monster.
Wait, Shakur Stevenson fighting Valdez, isn't he? That's such an easy fight. I'm sorry, that's a really easy fight to predict, though, for me. Like, I just see Shakur outboxing Valdez. Honestly, I really do. I don't see Valdez knocking him out or anything, or getting having big success. I mean, he's got power.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Fight, man. I like that fight.
Valdez only looked very powerful. Valdez only looked very powerful against Bishop because Bishop was running at him. Shakur's not going to do that. He's going to box beyond. He's probably going to be on the back. He's going to be on the back foot, of course.
But
box him.
But this is how
Campos, Shakur v Valdez.
Huh? You're asking me?
Yeah.
I have Shakur on points, but I see Shakur's toughest fight because all it's going to take is Valdez to connect once to change the dynamic of the fight. I do not have Valdez winning, but it's going to be Shakur's toughest fight.
Hey, CV, so you're saying Shakur is a little chinny?
No, it's just that Oscar has power, and all it takes is one punch to get through. We don't know how good Haney. We don't know how good Shakur can punch. I have Shakur winning on points. That's not in question. The thing is, this is going to be Shakur's toughest fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this is very scary, very risky for Shakur anyway. But I mean, Valdez can pull it off. But I mean, on points, definitely Shakur has this one. I mean,
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't follow AJ's template where he tries to outbox Shakur. Valdez should go in there and go for the kill now.
I want to see Valdez go in there and just put it on him.
True.
Valdez has a better corner.
But I mean, Reynoso knows what he's doing. I mean, I didn't think Valdez was going to beat Michelle, and he dominated him.
And you know what, Makai? You know what, Makai? You know what? And Reynoso's they're an offensive type trainers, so he'll probably teach Valdez how to go in there, but but don't go in there recklessly, like Margarito. You know what I mean? Where he's just coming in there with no defense whatsoever. He'll probably teach him kind of like what Canelo does, like he offensively, 100%. But.
I mean, what's the size difference between them? Is Shakur a lot bigger than Valdez? I mean, he does seem like it, doesn't he?
Shakur is 5'8". Shakur is 5'8", and Valdez is 5'6".
Oh, okay, and Shakur's he's a lot more wider as well than Valdez. He's generally a bigger guy. I'm not obviously saying excuses for Valdez, but they'll definitely play a part as well.
Right.
And of course, it's probably 140, whereas Valdez's ceiling is maybe 130. So that's probably like a size difference there.
Yeah, Shakur definitely cuts a lot more weight than Valdez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's only like 20.
A great fight.
Yeah.
A great fight. Yeah. Is there any other fights you guys are looking forward to?
Yeah, Messiah versus Gary Russell Jr. next week. Or this week, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's a... Man, I see an upset. Honestly, I do.
Imran, I'm looking forward to Amir Khan versus Kell Brook.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one that much, to be honest.
You've got to be confident.
Hey, I'm not confident. No, I'm not confident.
Now, Khan's got it in the bag, dude. He's got it in the bag.
Right. Yeah, I think
The
so.
weight
too.
alone is
you know how you're a betting man.
Huh?
CV, where's CV at?
Yes, I'm right
Now
here.
you're a betting man. What's your odds on that fight?
I don't want to hurt your feelings. I have bets on that fight. I'll reveal it to you after the fight's over.
You're going for the wider.
You can't do
odds,
that.
bro.
Yeah, you can't do that. Let us. What have you got? Brook winning.
No, I'll send you a screenshot of my bet. I'm not going to tell you right now. Okay,
Oh, but see, you're going for the wider bet so you can get more of a profit. Is that your like
right?
philosophy?
Yeah, see, here's the thing, guys, that when you bet, you have to look at multiple platforms. So you have to look for a platform that gives you the best odds on the fighter you're betting on, whether he's favorite or whether he's the underdog. Then you have to look for another platform that gives you the best odds on a draw. You have to look for another platform that gives you the best odds for a knockout, if you believe it's going to be a knockout or if you believe it's going to go to a decision. So
TV,
the platform.
What's the odds for Khan Brook in America? Do you know?
I don't know. I can get it to you later. I got to look on the website because it's changed.
Oh, is it changed?
Yeah, it's changed. So another tip is hypothetically, let's say there's two fighters, and fighter A is the favorite, and fighter B is the underdog. Usually, when it's the underdog, the day of the fight, the odds are wider. So if you're going to bet on the underdog, most of the time it's going to be best to make your bet for the underdog the day of the fight. And again, you look.
I'm assuming that it's very close. It's a 50-50, right? I mean, it's really not that.
I have
lopsided.
Nah, man, Khan's the huge fan.
Huh?
Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't know the odds. I don't know the odds. That's why I'll them to you guys later. I'll post it in the comment section of this video later.
Brook's the favorite here in the UK. Brook's the odds are favoring Brook.
Oh really?
I
thought Khan was the favorite.
Yeah, me too.
No, Brook's the favorite.
Honestly, I did not expect Brook to be the favorite. I might as well bet on Khan then.
And he's quite a substantial. Like when I say substantial, I mean Brook's got 62% chance of winning, and Khan's got 38% chance of winning.
What?
I know what I'm betting for.
Man.
I'd put money on Khan if that's the case. Damn, man, on a knockout too.
Now I understand why Imran is nervous about this.
Yeah.
Why?
When I saw the bookies odds, I was like, crap, man. I was like, flipping.
You know why? Because Khan keeps on saying like that he's injured or something like that. Like,
I see.
Didn't he say?
Yeah, guys, a lot of times fighters say that to affect the odds. Yeah. Remember, if you're a fighter and you're heavily favored, so let's say you're a fighter and you're heavily favored and you lose, Las Vegas booking houses will never support you, and that support makes it without that support, it makes it difficult to get fights. Okay,
that's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game, and it's corrupted. I mean, I've seen stuff happen. Obviously, anything with money involved. But again, guys, I remember Christian. I wasn't able to get on when Christian was commenting, and one of the things I wanted to let you guys know, absolutely, Canelo should have fought Andrade. But let me tell you something about Andrade, which some of you guys already know. Andrade does fight with Lara. Andrade was offered to fight at 54 with Lara, and Andrade himself made a video saying Lara was boring, and he himself in an interview said he's gonna drop the fight with Andrade and he's gonna fight Colque. Okay, out of Canelo and the Charlos, Andrade never fought Trout. Okay, he never fought Trout. Never wanted to fight Trout. And again, Derevyanchenko. Andrade was scheduled to fight Derevyanchenko when Derevyanchenko was undefeated. Guys can look it up. Andrade turned down that fight. Another fight that was mentioned for Andrade was Jacobs. Okay, now Jacobs and Andrade did say that they were friends, and Jacobs on an interview said, if it comes down to business, Jacobs said, I will take the fight. Andrade never replied. Now we have Janibek. So Christian is telling you that Janibek brings nothing to the table. Something about Janibek. Janibek has been calling out Andrade for over a year and a half. If Andrade beats Janibek, I'm not kidding, guys. It's going to be the best win on Andrade's record because Andrade has never beat a champion. Andrade had the chance with Lara, who was the best at 154 and turned it down. At 160,
yeah, but I said this to Christian.
He put himself in that spot, in the hole. He's in the hole because of his own doing. It's just, but people just keep on fanboying Andre for some reason.
No,
it's just ridiculous.
And but these are the people I look for to bet, because if somehow, some way, Canelo ever fights Andrade and Christian has 30 to 35 grand, I'll bet him. I'm being serious. This is what I do. This is what I do, guys. I have it in cash. And if you guys go online, and look at me, I make bets with guys on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook all the time. And this is what I do, and these are the type of guys that I look for. An Andrade fanboy. I don't care about Canelo. I don't care about Andrade. I just care on who I make the best decision on who's going to win. Business. And the best decision, whether I like him, whether I don't like him, whether he's tall, whether he's short, whether he's fat, whether he's skinny. Doesn't matter. I will bet up to 35 grand. I will bet up to 35 grand that Canelo beats Andrade. And I'm gonna try and get a hold of Christian for that.
You know, he's probably not gonna take you up on that. I think he's just, I don't know, man. He's a weird dude. I mean, yeah.
Well, I'll bet.
Just leave again like he done last time. It's just no use.
Yeah. Well, I do favor Andrade to beat Janibek. But guys, I'm gonna bet 8,000 that Janibek beats Andrade. I'm gonna bet it because I had the same issue with Loma. I favored Loma to beat Lopez. I did, but I just, for whatever reason, I put money down on Lopez, and Lopez barely. It's a competitive fight, but Lopez barely won it. He won it.
This is
he also pulled out the Derevyanchenko fight.
Yeah, he pulled out of the Derevyanchenko fight.
I mean, Andrade, he's not like this guy that no one wants to fight. I mean, I've seen so many guys, but they just don't.
Andrade.
Jermell. He ducked Jermell, not Jamal.
I think it was about this whole money situation, whatever. But yeah, it was.
Okay, guys. See, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If we talk about Canelo and better BF, what would your betting thing be on that? Your betting.
I favor better BF to win. But I would put a small amount on Canelo just for the upset. But I do favor better BF to win. People think.
CV, don't bet your money on that one, brother.
I said a small amount. I said a small amount, like I did with Lopez. With Lopez, I only bet 1,300, and I would be doing the same on Canelo. I would just bet 1,300.
Right.
But what I mean is, would Beterbiev be the bookie's favorite on that fight?
I don't know. That's what will dictate how much I bet. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure he would be. I'm not sure.
No, I doubt that. No.
I'm not sure he would be.
And then another tip for you guys when you bet. So let's say this was the Canelo Plant fight, and Canelo's the favorite. Don't bet online because the odds are for Canelo to win. So what you do is you look for a Plant fanboy and make a straight 1-to-1 bet. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most
But
definitely.
again,
Yeah, but
but you
come on,
can
who's
also
gonna CB? Who's gonna want to bet money on Plant on that? Like, I don't know. Was there people out there that were willing to bet
um
on Plant?
Amir, I bet well, this is the bet I made on the Canelo fight. I bet Canelo fanboy that Plant would make it to the 6th round, and I made $1,100.
Nice.
Yo,
So it wasn't for Plant to win. It was for Plant to survive, and those are bets that come up. And the only people that make bets like that are fanboys.
right,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that's why it's always good.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I would never bet something like that. Like, whether Plant could make it 6 rounds. That, like, how do you know? Like, you know, that like Plant's a good fighter. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
but Plant has defensive skills, and someone
That's
with
what I mean.
defensive skills is gonna by statistics is gonna last longer than someone who's a puncher. And and if Canelo was to fight Jermell, and if Canelo was to fight Andrade, the fight with Jermell would finish quicker than the fight with Andrade because Andrade can move.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
So 6 rounds. Remember, these Canelo fanboys had Canelo knocking him out in 3 or 4 rounds. That's what they had planned at, and that's what I bet against.
I knew it wouldn't. I knew it'd go more than 3-4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
And
Canelo
if he
fanboys.
if he fights Jamal, that's gonna go.
I think that's gonna go 12
round 8 onwards.
I think 12.
I don't.
He's pretty tough, Charlo. He'll probably last it, but he'll definitely.
You guys think over the distance?
He'll get a bit up in the end.
Wow.
TV, what do you think?
I think it's gonna get knocked out in the mid.
I want Canelo to knock him out, but I just don't see it.
If the fight materializes, if the fight between Charlo and Canelo materializes, I have a bet that Canelo will knock out Charlo before he did Plant. That's the bet that I have.
So
but
before
that's
11
nearly the end of the fight, though. That's like that could be. He knocked out Plant in the 11th, didn't he?
But see, you have guys saying that Canelo can't knock out Charlo.
Yeah, I think before BJ.
I wouldn't say he can't. He can knock out Charlo.
He's definitely capable of knocking Charlo out, no doubt.
Well, that's why I have a bet. That's why my bet is that Canelo will knock out Charlo before he did Plant. That's the bet.
Yeah.
That's
a good bet.
A risky one, CV. That's a risky one. I don't know.
I didn't.
I said that might be
to me, it's not. To me, it's not because Charlo doesn't have the best feet. Charlo doesn't have the best defensive skills, and Charlo's chin.
You have a chin toughness to last.
There's no special Montiel. Charlo
actually, Charlo, he did get really hurt to the body against Lomachenko. So I mean, there's definitely there is a possibility that he gets
Montiel wobbled Jamal.
Wobbled him, yeah, with a jab.
What is it? A C-level fighter? Montiel, C, B, minus B. It's crazy.
No, but think about it. Callum Smith went the distance with Canelo, and Callum Smith was getting touched up by John Ryder the fight before. So I don't know, man. And Janny Jacobs went the distance with Canelo.
60.
You know, so that you can go the distance with Canelo.
Yeah, but one thing
not Charlie, Andre maybe.
A variable that we're not taking into consideration with Callum Smith is his height.
Yeah,
that presents presents difficulties.
Drago,
and Smith.
It was just the picture of a Drago of Rocky when they were touching gloves. Did you see that? Just amazing the difference.
No, I don't remember.
I mean, Imran, with that Canelo Smith fight, anyway, Canelo, what he actually was doing for most of the fight, he was hitting Smith's arm to stop his hand from coming up. And there was a fat lump on his arm. Did you see that?
Yeah. He battered
Smith. He aimed there a lot. I mean, he was getting Smith still, but he wasn't actually throwing a lot as people seem to think. Like he had him on the rope sometimes. He'd throw 2 punches, and then then Smith would kind of then walk out a little, but then Canelo would just be walking him down a bit like that. But it wasn't actually a lot of action, as people think.
Yeah, Smith was outgunned in that fight.
And Charlo, he will throw a punch as well. I mean, Smith, he didn't really throw anything. It was kind of like he was there to survive. He didn't throw nothing. But when he did try and throw, he had no success with it. So he probably lost a bit of hope for it because none of his best tools are actually working.
Colin Smith got hit though, man. I mean, that guy has a chin, brother. My God, he got hit with everything, man. Oh, that was a crazy fight.
What about Lomachenko v Tank? CV Lomachenko v Tank.
I favor Loma over everyone at 135.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Again, guys, I put my money behind it. Like, this isn't just a feeling. I mean, if I can take bets, I'll take bets on that. That's how firmly I believe that Loma will take 135. The only fight that I don't know that I don't have a decision on is Loma versus Shakur until I see how well Shakur does against Valdez.
What about Shakur v Tank?
Shakur's never fought at 135, and that's the weight that the fight's going to be at. I need to see how Shakur looks against Valdez. Shakur shows promise, but we need to see him under fire, and we have not seen Shakur under fire.
I think the Gervonta Lomachenko fight is a wicked fight, an unbelievable fight. I think Gervonta v Lomachenko is a proper fight. That is a very. I think that would be a lot more closer than what people think.
I don't know him, man. I mean, he's got the pace. He's dangerous.
I just don't think Lomachenko can school Gervonta Davis that easy. I just think Gervonta Davis is too good to be totally outclassed. I think he hits too hard, and I think he's explosive. He's dangerous. He's got a good chin as well. That's a good fight.
With the Loma fight, I'm very confident Loma will win that. But with the Haney, Brian Garcia.
Yeah, he beats all of those. He beats all of those. Yeah, he beats Kambosos, beats Haney, beats
I think
Ryan.
he knocked Haney out, man.
But
I think
Davis
knock him out.
Davis for me. Davis, there's something about Davis that I think's dangerous.
Well,
I'm serious.
The division that Davis has looked the worst in is 135. The division that Davis does not have a knockout. Well, he did have Gamboa. I'm wrong. But the division that Davis has looked worse is 135. He did not look good against Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is not top 5. Isaac was a top 10 boxer that was rushed through the rankings when the Tank Davis fight was announced. Okay? Isaac Cruz does not last 12 rounds with Loma. Isaac Cruz doesn't even last 12 rounds with Ryan. And again, Rare Breed says he'll take that bet. Isaac Cruz doesn't last, guys. He's durable, but he can't. I mean, look at his fights.
Yeah, well, he's a youngster too.
But here's the thing, Campos. Tank had a broken hand in that fight.
But at what round? What round was it in? The fifth
round. I'm not sure. I don't know what round. Was it round 2?
Okay, let's give Tank the benefit of doubt, and it was in the 6th round. So Tank's hand broke in the 6th round. What happened in rounds 1 through 5?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Cruz was landing a lot on him, man, backing him down
in round 1 to 6.
A lot of people did, man. A lot of people thought Tank was just going to blow this guy out.
If Lomachenko fought Cruz, would you say he stops him in 6?
He doesn't. No, he doesn't stop him in 6. But you know what? He schools him for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, he schools him and stops him. He schools him and stops him late.
Loma's a different fighter to Tank. Tank doesn't have that kind of athleticism, that movement, that kind of. He's different, But styles make fights, and I think stylistically, Davis could be a dangerous fight for Lomachenko. You know,
Where were
I mean,
Davis's feet? Okay, so Davis's hand broke in the sixth. Where were Davis's feet? 1 through 12. Where were his feet? Why was he clinching? He was clinching in 1 through 6 and 6 through 12. So where was that all at? I know that I'm putting a lot on one fight, but he didn't look that great against Gamboa. He hasn't looked great at all at 135. He looked good at 140.
Gamboa, he had a torn Achilles and everything as well. I mean, Davies should have got him out of there like quite early, but
who do you want Davis to fight next? Davis, I'm just frustrated. I think Davis might end up fighting Rolando Romero next.
Yeah, I thought that fight was scheduled already.
In a perfect world, I mean, I guess we would. I mean, Haney Kambosos, yeah, to sort out the undisputed or whatever, and then Loma versus Tank. I mean, that would be good. But I don't mind seeing Loma fight any of those Kambosos or Haney. But I think that in an ideal world, it'll be those two matchups probably.
Floyd said Tank is doing only in-house fights, and Tank said he's not fighting anyone elite for another 2 years.
I mean, Tank's been just saying the same excuses each year for like the last 4 years. Oh, I don't need Loma yet. Like that's what he's been saying.
Tank called out Loma, said he would fight him. Tank called out Prograis, said he would fight him. Tank called out Josh Taylor, said he would fight him. Where are these fights at? None of those fights are happening. None of those fights are going to happen because Tank loses to Loma, Prograis, and Josh Taylor.
To Loma, Regis, Prograis. Yeah, Taylor's too big. Regis, Prograis, these are big guys. Lomachenko, that's a great fight. I want to see that one.
I don't think we're not gonna see that fight because Tank's mentor is Floyd Mayweather, and the Floyd Mayweather blueprint dictates either you age the fighter out or you wait until the fighter has a debilitating fight. Doesn't matter if they lose or win. Just like Castillo with Corrales, doesn't matter. Castillo had 2 hard fights, or Tank is gonna wait it out and fight Loma at a different division. That's the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. And again, or a catch weight.
Thing is with Floyd though, CB, Floyd fought a lot of early on in his career. He fought a lot of great fighters. Tank's not doing what Floyd did in the sense that Floyd proved himself early in his career. Like he was fighting top guys.
You proved my point. Imran, you proved my point. The Tank that we have right now already is Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy Floyd. You just proved my point.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That Gervonta Davis hasn't earned the right to do what Floyd did at the back end of his career. Floyd earned the right because Floyd put in the work early on. So he basically Gervonta is piggybacking of Floyd Mayweather's success throughout his career. Because Floyd,
and that's why Tank will not fight anyone with a pulse for the next 2 years, especially if they're outside of the PBC. So if we're gonna look forward to see who Tank's gonna fight, it's gonna have to be within the PBC roster, who PBC has now, or who the PBC might take on later.
They haven't got anyone though.
Well, then there you go. Tank isn't fighting anyone.
I mean, and they talk about they want Tank to fight guys who bring fans in, which obviously makes no sense because the crews, the barriers.
I don't want to watch Rolando Romero fight.
But I mean, didn't Tank's last pay-per-view flop with Cruz? I mean, if he fights guys like Loma, Ryan Goss, I mean, he'll probably fight Ryan Goss, to be honest. But if he fights guys like Loma and all that, I mean, that will sell and that will get a lot of buys. Like, because they always talk about money, people who bring in, the fans and everything. Why aren't they fighting Loma? I mean, that's a huge fight.
Because it's not about money. It's not about money. It's about protecting the O. And a good way to look at. We're gonna be able to gauge Tank's drawing power when he fights Rolly. If Tank fights Rolly, which he's supposed to, and it flops, then we know where Tank's at.
Exactly.
So you think
that's just an excuse for them to not fight good guys. They just say, "Oh, well, they just talk out their ass and expect people to believe it."
Now, Stevie, so you think after Broly, if he beats Broly, then they're gonna throw him out there with the top champs, with the top fighters at the
Broly's so
division?
bad, man.
First, we have to see how well the Rolly pay-per-view performs, because Tank can beat Rolly. But remember, if Tank fights anyone outside of the PBC, they're not going to fight on the PBC. The PBC doesn't have money. They don't have the money to pay fighters. So Tank's going to have to fight on another platform. They're not going to, Ellerby and Floyd ain't going to allow that to happen. They already told you they're not going to make another company great. Tank only fights in-house.
I've been saying Tank better. It's got to leave TMT, man. If he wants to do something for himself, he needs to go somewhere else, man. I don't know what the hell he's still there.
But
and he looks.
Though, I mean, Tank. He can fight. He can fight. He can cherry pick and get a lot of money. He doesn't mind. He wants to do that. That's what I hate about him.
Yeah,
you're talking about all this greatness and everything. I mean, you're literally cherry picking and getting good money. That's all you want to do. I mean, yeah, it's you're having a very good you're having a good career money wise, but I mean, there's literally no legacy, no legacy at all, and you're just being you're just being fraudulent to his fans and everything.
And that's what they're all doing. I mean, Jamal's doing the same thing. Andrade, I mean, they're all doing the same thing. It's kind of milking the clock, right?
Yeah, just exactly. We got guys like James Deere, who's following it. I mean, have you seen the guy's comments right now?
Right. Here's the thing. Floyd told you himself. Floyd said it himself when he was active. He doesn't fight for legacy. He fights for money. Floyd said that. So what do you think he's going to do for Tank?
What do you think he's going to do anyway? Yeah, he's following his footprint.
I mean, he's making it even worse with Tank. I mean, I think Tank's a lot more worse than Floyd with the
and we're giving Floyd has one criticism as Pretty Boy, okay? Has two criticisms. Number one, I mentioned it before, Floyd ducked Mosley at 135, and rightfully so. And remember, Floyd lost to Castillo at 135. So people say that at that Pretty Boy Floyd, or that at 135 Floyd was his strongest. Well, you know what? That's where he has a loss, and that's where he ducked an elite fighter in their prime. Again, no fighter is above criticism. There is no fighter above criticism.
Yeah,
well,
I agree.
Yeah, Monty Floyd was the most boring, the most defensive, and I think he accomplished a lot more that way. I think he was a better fighter as Monty Floyd, but boring. He took risks as the other version, as the first version, but
yeah,
it is
Pretty Boy Floyd's fights are more entertaining. Okay, they are. The Corrales fight was a great fight. Okay, but guys, the thing is, the thing is, we want Tank to fight. Tank's not going to fight anybody, and Tank isn't going to leave Floyd, because we've all seen Tank in interviews. Unfortunately, he's not that smart. He doesn't have that critical thinking. He doesn't. You can see it. You know, it's like a deer in headlights. But
I don't want to say it. That's exactly it.
I mean, and look, it's the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. That's what he's doing. And you know what? If they want to do that, if PBC wants to do that, let them do it. Remember, PBC about 3 years ago, they wanted to make their own belts. Let them make their own belts and get away from boxing. That's what they should do. Or someone needs.